Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm already
Hi.
giggling.
Yes.
Because of the great pun that
Yes,
no one else
the
is going to be able to hear.
Fucking incredible pun. Ryan, tell it again so the folks at home can hear.
See, I am that type of evil person that they are going to be stuck out of the loop. It'll be posted in the comments 4 days later. Keep an eye out.
We're doing our Christmas episode, everybody.
Yes. I imagine we're taking a little holiday break after this.
And I'll try to record something. I gotta find the time out to record and upload something, but probably not gonna be an iMovie project. I'm just gonna do like a little something.
Yep.
And we are doing the Corax today. Wonderful. We're gonna have a Merry Corax Christmas.
We're going to be talking about burbs. They're funny people. I really like whoever narrated the book.
This image is horribly off-center, but we're going to use it anyway because it's got high resolution.
I will make do with it.
I'm kind of mixed about the designs for the breed books because they all look like this. It's just the glyph printed in a pattern.
A little bit,
And
yeah, but...
I like it, but I wish you had the full portrait like you did with the other
For the Garrow?
Triumph books.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Corax are pretty cool. Ryan, what are the Corax again?
The Corax are the bird people, otherwise known as our good friend, what was his name, Jaden?
Yes.
Yes.
Jaden.
They're birds. They're all birds. They're the Kinku from D&D.
Exactly. Oh, and the Alwyn and the...
Except they can talk.
Yes. Well, Kenku
and
can
fly.
talk, just very poorly.
Yeah, they mimic other people's voices, but also Alwyn, not Asmar. What the hell am I talking about?
Aarakocra.
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 And you got all these different fun birds. There is no shortage of pictures for Corax out in the wild. I mean, we had a Kinku character in D&D, Kettlestein, who looks like this. Behold, you really can just make a Kinku or Corax, because behold the wealth of art for crow people and raven people on the internet.
That's because birds are neat.
The question. We have noticed in all of our episodes that the Corax have gotten along great with wolves. Do we know why in nature?
Actually, somebody told me this at work. I think it's because crows will actually guide wolves to where smaller prey animals are and circle around in the area. And then after the wolves get their kill, the ravens will come down, or the crows will come down and pick at the entrails. Just a very, it's a, forget the name of the relationship.
There's a word for it, yeah.
Yeah.
Symbiotic.
Yes, a symbiotic relationship.
And the thing is with the ravens, I don't know when in nature and evolution they learned how to do this, but the raven realized that a very good way for it to eat was for it to follow a wolf that killed things. And the wolf doesn't seem to be interested in eating it because the raven's kind of smelly. He smells like dead things. And the raven will go around and eat the carrion and the bugs instead of an animal. And then eventually the raven starts kissing up to the wolf, or it will fly around, caw, rock, let the wolf know where dead things are. The wolf will go over, start eating it, get through the flesh, get through the bones. The raven will start eating with the wolf. And then they just form this kind of relationship where the raven will eat the parasites out of the meal, so it's safe for the wolf to eat. And then behold, that's a real natural thing.
Yeah, I thought that was really neat when I heard about that.
Yeah, you got this little video down here, the wolf, pups, and the ravens. You got, it's like the raven is trying to teach the pups to follow it, and it sees it.
Yeah, there are different types of symbiotic relationships. We're talking about symbiosis.
Yeah. Got the hornbills and the rhinos, too.
Yeah. Sorry about that, I just went on like a short research.
No,
well, it's nature.
We are a nature documentary channel now.
Yep.
Yeah, we're now Tier Zoo. We're going to do the best animal mashups.
It's kind of adorable watching the wolves just kind of chill around with the ravens. I think it's adorable.
And you just see it follow around.
Corax.
And no better than to eat it. And yep, that's the Corax for you. Not a single werewolf tribe has a single bad thing to say about the Corax.
Well, I mean, the only complaint that they all have is these motherfuckers never shut the fuck up.
Yeah, sometimes they just talk a little too long.
Yes.
Or try to take your spot in the alpha position.
That's true.
Well, Jaden's a smart guy. He knows what he's doing. He's got the kung fu.
That's true.
I still remember that was the first thing that happened was Chica was like, "Watch out, he knows kung fu."
he knows the crane Kempo style. He's got the sweeping legs and he's got the wings to keep himself airborne as he kicks.
Yes.
Now, typically, the way you've seen Jaden fight goes against the grain of how Corax typically fight, because there is a big boon to a Corax: no silver weakness.
Really?
Instead, they have a different weakness: gold.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that makes sense.
They are weak to gold. If you shoot a raven with a golden bullet, it will kill it. But you can just have the raven sit in front of a machine gun spray of silver bullets and nothing will happen. I mean, he's going to take the superficial damage, but he'll survive.
I think that's great because of how it represents the actual like crows and all that. The ravens, and they all like the shiny things.
Exactly. The shiny thing, if it's squishy, if it's very easy to break under pressure, it's gold, it's worthless, stay away from it. If it's shiny and it reflects light, and I can see my reflection in it, it's silver, take it with me.
Yeah.
Yep, like tinfoil.
Now we begin with the cosmic story. We remember being told this by the Red Talons.
The cosmic story.
Yeah, it was the Wild was just making stuff ad nauseum. The Weaver and Worm told the Wild to stop. The Wild didn't stop. Gaia made animals, and then the Wild kept making animals. The Weaver and Wild told the Weaver and the Worm told the Wild to stop. The Wild didn't stop. Gaia made humans, and then the humans started killing and eating the animals and the plants. And the Worm said, "Hey, those humans, I got plans for those." And he starts corrupting the humans. And then, of course, you had the changing breeds, the Macaulay, the Rakia, and the were insects who have been wiped from history because the Weaver killed them all and then destroyed any sort of record. Because the Weaver made her own changing breed, the Ananasi, who we will eventually talk about. And the fifth changing breed to ever be made was the Corax. So these guys are old, dude. Like, very, very old.
They've been around for a minute.
So, where do the Naga come in? Later?
The Naga?
No.
They eventually evolved off of the Macaulay.
I got you.
Yeah. The Naga weren't considered to be a changing breed until somebody eventually decided, you know what, we should make the Naga their own thing because India is pretty bare of a setting. So they eventually gave the Naga their own book. They weren't really planning to, but the Naga eventually did get it. I digress.
We
So
don't
we
have to get into it, but just
Raven.
Curious.
Now, what two cultures like the Raven?
Native Americans
Irish.
and who else? And the Irish?
Yep. Native Americans and the Irish, where most of the stuff we're talking about has been inspired by both of them. But more along the lines of the Northwest Pacific Native American tribes like the Chumash, those tribes. So you have Raven. And Raven is this evil genius. Less so on the evil, more so on the genius. If he wanted to be a bad person, he could be. But he is this mastermind. There is nobody smarter than Raven. Nobody knows the system better than me. That's how he works. You were saying something?
I say he was just a cantankerous motherfucker.
He's very smart indeed. And the Raven is a pretty smart bird. I mean, you've seen videos of a test tube with water, and then the Raven fills the test tube with rocks so he can get to the water.
Yes.
That's why he's this genius. Ravens have a pretty high IQ. Most of them are smart, just as smart as, if not smarter than human children.
Man, I should adopt a bird. That'd be fun.
You're gonna say that until it pees and poops all inside your house.
I'll keep it in a sunroom.
From what I hear, they require a lot of attention and a lot of care.
Fair.
Yeah, the birds get the separation anxiety. That explains why the Corax never leave you alone.
Well, that it's weird because in the book, ravens are social animals, but they are not pack animals.
Exactly. They like talking, but they like to have in their own space.
Yes.
And the reason why we are talking about the worm and the raven is because the raven looked and saw that the weaver and worm were beginning to fight and fight bad. So Raven flies over and says, "Hey, can you guys chill out for a minute? I've got an idea. What if you take turns playing with the planet? We have 100 years of weaver and 100 years of worm, and then you go back and forth between creation, destruction, creation, destruction. You build the sandcastle for 100 years. The worm kicks it down for 100 years. You go back, you build the sandcastle back up. Does that sound good?" And the worm is all for it. Worm says, "Yeah, that sounds cool." And as a sign of good faith, the worm said the weaver could take the first 100 years.
No, that's awfully nice of him.
The worm used to be a decent guy. Once again, it was necessary destruction is what he did. The first thing the weaver does with her 100 years is bind the worm.
Oh.
Great.
You already fucked it up.
Yeah, the weaver doesn't play nice.
So it's all the weaver's fault.
Yeah.
Yeah, the weaver is not a good person at all.
I mean, there's very rarely a good person in the world of darkness.
The weaver's the youngest, the worm is the oldest, and the wild is the middle child.
I thought it was
It's
the other way.
Weirdo middle child who's off. Well, death existed first.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, the worm is the oldest, and I'd say the weaver. No, actually, you did get it right, Ryan.
Oh, cool.
Just the way everything plays out. That's what I assumed it was.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that is what it is. So the worm is bound. Great. You've got the worm who thrashes in the web and creates the tragic worm that goes off to try to destroy the world. And behold, the central conflict has started. Wonderful. Well, Raven tried. He tried. So the Weaver, of course, suffers no consequences and tries to bind the wild, but that doesn't work. So instead, she kills the wild's creation, the were insects, with the Alanasi. Great job. And you have the Tragic Worm starting to teach humanity to destroy the world. And the Raven looks at this and decides, we gotta do something about this. He tries his best to try to trick humanity out of world destruction, but it's not quite enough. You have the sixth oldest breed, the Nuisha, coming around this time, and then Gaia realizes that it was a really bad idea to make the Nuisha. So instead, she makes the girl. The girl try, but the girl are such fucking pussies that they don't make any progress. And then the Geru are made. And then we know how that happens, right? The Impergium.
Yep.
But before that happens, you have the Raven flying around, and this is before the first murder happens that really sets off the Red Talons. What we were talking about with the symbiosis, Raven learns how to do that. And he looks over and says, the Geru are the warriors of Gaia. I want to have these guys on my side. And it seems that he has the same idea that Luna has, because Luna also falls head over heels in love with the Geru. So Raven starts approaching Old Wolf of the Woods, who used to be part of Silver Fangs before he became a Red Talon, because the Silver Fangs decided they want to ditch him for Falcon. Great move, guys.
Yeah, and you fucked it up.
And Raven starts kissing up to all the Geru. And there's two tribes in particular, the Silver Fangs and the Red Talons, who are very interested in them. The Silver Fangs say, funny little bird. Cool, as long as you know that we're in charge, you can hang around us. And the Shellords say, you. And just reach up and snatch the Corax out of the sky and drag him down and hold him close to their chest, going, "We're friends. We're friends. That's what we are. It's going to be a start of a beautiful relationship. You're mine forever, and don't you tell anybody this, but I love you the most. And if it were them or you, I'd definitely go with you because I just love you that much."
and the Shadow Lords ran in and said, "You're our boy."
As we have noticed, the Shadow Lords love the Corax. They always have. They've always been buddy with them. This was to show how old their relationship was. This was back when Crow was the totem of the Shadow Lords.
That explains why they like them.
There's a subtle difference between the Crow and the Raven, where the Raven is bigger. It's got boomerang-shaped wings. It makes a rock sound, where a crow does a caw. It looks like the same bird, but it's not the same bird. Of course, it's from the same kind of bird family, like the magpie, and, evolution, yeah. All right, next story beat. Let's go on.
Yep.
Now, you might be wondering, where does the gold weakness come from? It comes from Helios, the sun. And you might be wondering, well, why did these guys make a pact with the sun? Here's the reason why. Let me take a sip of this wine before I start.
What kind of wine are you drinking?
It's Pinot Grigio. It's not very good, but it's not very bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got a little gift. It was a box of that.
Nice.
Well, that might explain why it's kind of poor quality, because it's in a box.
Yeah, box wine isn't good. Like, I've got a bottle of South African Chenin Blanc up on my cabinet. I haven't cracked into it yet.
Yeah. I'd rather have a glass of champagne to go along with this story, but here we go. Helios is beginning to become very jealous of Luna. Luna is going around picking up all the changing breeds and keeping them for herself. She says, "Ooh, that's Scaru. They're mine. There's Norkia. They're mine." And the Helios looks over and says, "Hey, what are you doing? You're taking all the changing breeds for yourself? Here, I get these guys." And he realizes he picks up the Macaulay, and the Macaulay suck. And before Helios can snatch up a different one, Luna says, "Oh, the Corax, they're mine. The girl, that's mine too. The Bastet, that's mine. The Noisha, that's mine. All of them are mine." And Luna just holds them to her chest and just looks Helios in the eye like a kid who stole the Xbox from you while you went to the bathroom. And she says, "Behold, I'm playing this for an hour now. There's nothing you can do to stop me." As we talked about several times, Luna's a little shit.
Yep, and Helios came in and said, Mom said it's my turn on the Xbox.
Absolutely, he did.
And Helios says, "Well, if I can't play with the changing breeds, I'm just going to turn myself off." So he partially turns off his own body, the sun. You can imagine how catastrophic that is.
It's like, yeah, good luck playing the Xbox without the power cable.
Yeah, as you see, the entire world begins to go black as giant ice spires begin to spring up across the world, and the world begins to freeze over. And all the changing breeds realize, shit, the world's about to end, isn't it? And it's not the worm ending it, it's Helios who's doing it.
That's only because
God
Luna's
damn it,
being
Helios.
cantankerous bitch.
You also realize that Helios could kill the worm by himself if he just sent one solar wind down on Earth. It would kill Gaia, but it would kill the worm at the same time.
That's kind of the struggle now, isn't it?
There you go.
Yeah.
The strongest being in World of Darkness is the sun.
Go figure.
So, Helios is starting to go dark. Raven realizes he's got to do something. He's got to do something about this. And he thinks. He comes up with a very convoluted, long plan. The first thing he's going to do is make a planet-sized mirror with his magic. He does that. He makes this gigantic mirror. And he sets it up and angles it right where Helios still has a bright spot. And it makes this like a fake sun that starts shining light on the planet. And then Raven flies over and says, "Hey, Helios, there's that new star in the sky. Oh, it's brighter than you are. And it seems that a lot more people like that sun than you." And then Helios decides, "Well, I'm just going to shut myself off entirely." So Helios goes black after that happens. He just turns himself off.
Helios going dark.
And then Raven flies over to his little spirit world doorstep, and Helios is just curled up on the floor crying because nobody loves him anymore. And Raven brings the entirety of the Corax with him. And he says, hey, Helios, I see that you're down. That other star, we don't want you to turn yourself off. In fact, I've got an end with the other celestial bodies. We can get rid of that other star for you. Believe me, this definitely isn't some sort of convoluted plot. And Helios believes him and says, really? You do that for me? And Raven says, not only that, but we don't want to be Luna's changing breed anymore. We're going to side with you, and you get to be our patron. And Helios runs over and just gives the Corax a collective hug as a breed. And he's going, oh, you chose me! You chose me! I'm so happy! Like he's like crying, like tears made out of sunlight that end up burning the flesh of the Corax. They used to have white feathers. Now they're black.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah. So after Helios finally lets them go, the Corax all fly back to Earth. Don't ask me how Raven manages to pull this off. I guess he's one of the strongest beings in existence, I guess. And he comes back to Earth to find out that Luna has completely withdrawn all of their gifts. No more auspices.
Huh.
And they
That
look
sucks.
and say, well, we were trying to two-time them, but it looks like we're stuck with Helios. Don't ever tell Helios that we were planning on getting in bed with Luna after all this happened. And they never tell him. Helios doesn't know this.
Well, I mean, how can they? They do that, the sun turns off again.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be a good way to quickly end the apocalypse if the worm looks like he's going to win. Just go over to Helios, turn him off, and behold, nobody wins.
It sounds like all you need to do is talk a whole bunch of shit to Helios. It's like, hey, Helios, you're no good. You got people skin cancer. Fuck off. Get lost. You bother me.
Yeah, Helios has got very thin skin. He's got this very gallant but vain personality when you read about him.
It sounds like it.
It's because Luna is the one who gets all the gifts and all the favors, and everybody loves Luna, and nobody really loves Helios.
She's like Haley from American Dragon.
And it's a bit of a mixed blessing that they took Helios because, well, first of all, weakness to gold, they lost their weakness to silver. Behold, humans don't really have good gold weapons. I mean, have you tried using a gold sword? That thing folds after you swing it once.
Yes.
Very
gold is a
crappy
very
metal.
soft element.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is.
So if you had a weakness, the gold is the better thing to be weak to. And for what else they have another benefit and bane. They have incredible eyesight. They've got fantastic eyes in all of their forms, but they have a terrible sense of smell. Which is kind of scientifically accurate with the Raven. The Corax just have a very poor sense of smell. It's like they got hit with the Wuhan flu and then lost their sense of smell. That's what it's like being a Corax.
That kind of sucks.
So, thankfully, they were able to get over my weakness of being able to eat pickles.
Yeah.
You take the most offensive smelling vegetable and then you soak it in vinegar.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I told you that's my least favorite food, and I will never get over it.
I mean, I finally found a way to eat. There's only two places that I will eat pickles. And I eat pickles on a spicy chicken sandwich because the spice kills the vinegar. Or a burger from Checkers because they use fresh pickles.
Ah.
I fucking love pickles.
Alright. I can't talk to either of you anymore.
Wow.
What a petty way
that's
to
it,
end a
guys.
friendship. It's like, oh, you guys like pickles? Well, fuck both of you.
You like the devil vegetable. I can't do it.
You're my pickle buddy, John.
It's like Doctor Who with pears.
Pears.
Now, what happens next in the story? The Raven folk, all the Corax, scatter across the planet. Raven says, new idea. We can't use moon bridges, which sucks, so we can't teleport. But instead, we're going to form this wide access information network because you're going to fly across the entire planet. Go, 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 go everywhere. And he just scatters the Corax across the entire planet. And behold, now every country in the world has a Corax. Beautiful.
Very useful.
This includes the Pure Lands. So they don't talk about them that much during the history, but there's Corax talking to the Croton, the Wendigo, and the Ectena, and it hit off great. The Corax, of course, are everyone's friend. And then the Impurging happens. So, the werewolves are going around killing all the humans. Great, right? So, what did the Corax do? They realized that this is a really bad idea because that's going to kill their kinfolk and the kinfolk of every other changing breed and neglect the other breeds. So they go around and say, you're going to want to hide your kids, hide your wife, and hide your husband too, because the girl are just going to kill all of them.
Yep.
And it works to an extent. Well, of course, you have the lobbying with the Children of Gaia and the Fianna and the Glasswalkers, but the Corax did play a part in ending the Imperium. Partially because they had all the humans hidden, and the Red Talons and Surfangs thought they killed all the humans, and behold, job's done, right? 100 years later, the human population is back to normal.
Wow, excellent work, Gara.
We've been schmuckered by the Corax.
Well, I mean, the Corax were smart enough to know it's like, hey, if we do this, then we stop existing.
It probably got the idea from the Shell Lords because the Shell Lords had the same idea. That the Shell Lords probably scooped the Corax over and said, do this with us and we can have all the till we want for ourselves.
And the Corax were like, cool, okay.
I could go down with some Eastern European sex.
Yep. Go to Moldovia.
Speaking of which, how do the Corax reproduce? They're birds, right?
Yeah, they lay eggs.
They don't get pregnant, so they have to lay eggs. This does not work in Homid form. You have to go into your Cross form or your Corvid form in order to do this. There is no middle form with either of these. They don't have a Glabro and they don't have a Hispo.
That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that changes is instant with them. I'm not sure why, and I haven't found the explanation in the book. I would love it if somebody could explain that in the comments. Once again, I'm not the perfect source of information. But what the Corax do is that they have an egg laying, and the egg will just hatch a normal raven. So, well, how do we reproduce? Turns out there's a rite you can do, which will fertilize the egg with the changing seed, allowing the soul of a Corax to identify that egg and then fly into it, and behold, you now have a new Corax.
That's kind of neat.
The issue was, back then, it took 2 years for the egg to hatch. That's a lot of time you're sitting on the nest. Yeah. So, the Corax went over and said, hey, Raven, can you do something about this? It's taking a long time for us to reproduce. And Raven looked and said, oh, my mistake. He looks over at the little reproduction rules he has for his changing breed. It says instead of 24 days, he wrote 24 months.
Oh.
So he quickly erases that, replaces that with days, and behold, it takes a whole 24 days to make a new Corax.
That's better. Oh, okay.
He quite literally just erased the rule book and write his... literally just amended the rule book. It's like, huh.
And this is still during the time of miracles. He could do that.
There we go.
Yeah, just quickly write that into consensus, save changes, fixed, patches new, patches here.
It's like they were beta testing her.
And what happens next? Well, War of Rage. Great, right?
Oh boy.
So what was supposed to be an operation that was meant to exterminate the Ananasi instead turned into the Ananasi snitching to the Makole, claiming that the Geru were trying to kill them for no reason, conveniently leaving out a lot of details. The Makole called the other changing breeds. They all turned on the Geru. the Geru decided, oh, if this is the way we're going to play, then we're going to play. And then the War of Rage happened. And we know what happens. The Macaulay got their shit pushed in and lost their chance to be the rulers of the changing breeds. The Bastet just floundered around the entire time. The Ratkin had their dreams crushed. The Apis and the Gronder were hunted to extinction, and the Corax almost shared the same fate. The Corax were caught sharing intel to the other changing breeds so that they might survive. The Geru found out about that and ordered the Corax to be exterminated. Before the Corax quickly said, wait, don't kill us, we're sorry, we'll swear eternal fealty to you, just don't kill us. And the Surfangs said, your terms are acceptable. And then the Corax were forced into a subservient role to the Geru that is still ongoing. Behold, you get to live, but you lose your autonomy.
Well, I mean, they still technically have it as far as the book's concerned.
Yeah, they're birds. I mean, how are you going to enforce that law?
Yeah, it's like, I'm flying up here, you're down there, fuck off.
Worry about the moon bridges. Now we can just fly. What's to worry about transportation there?
Yeah, they're fine. Don't worry about it.
And they managed to pay back this. You remember the whole Get a Fenris story with Odin and how he wanted to take over the world, starting with Scandinavia? As it turns out, that plan failed because of the Corax. So, credit to the Get a Fenris because they did a lot of stuff, but the Corax were the masterminds behind it. Hugin and Munin, who are thought and memory in English, if you translate those names, were two Corax that never changed into any other form, that flew over and landed on Odin's shoulder, and then never really left. And Odin thought to himself, aha, I am Gangrel, I have animalism, I control the birds do what I say. Go forth, birds, find out all the stuff for me. And never realizing that the animalism never worked on them because of their willpower. So Hugin and Munin just got all this intel from Odin, where they were just on his shoulder, looking at the magic he was doing, looking at his plans, and then told all of that to Get a Fenris.
Fucking ace Corax, hell yeah.
I mean, it helps that pretty much every day with Odin would begin with the morning report, your favorite song from The Lion King.
Which one?
Where the morning report.
Morning report.
But the long and the short. Nothing else short in the morning report.
I don't remember that.
You didn't watch the 2003 DVD re-releases. That's what happened with you.
More than likely, no.
Yeah, they added that scene for the DVD release.
Oh, neat.
So they would sing that little song every time you put a Corax in your game who's giving the news. Please do it in song.
I mean, yeah, Jaden never did that for us, but it would be kind of funny.
It's because they got a pretty shitty singing voice. So,
Christ, we go to one Corax that didn't know how to have fucking fun.
So, they would just go out, fly across the entirety of Odin's kingdom because Odin's too busy to do it himself, would come back, tell Odin all this stuff. They would tell him enough information to have him make a plan, but not enough information to make that plan successful, where they ultimately undermined his conquest, leading to Fenrir ultimately killing him. He did come back maybe as Wotan, but we're not entirely sure if that is the same guy. But Odin, as we know him, is dead. And because of that, the Get a Fenris decided that, what's your name? We're the Corax. Corax, you're with us now. And they reached over and grabbed the Corax and pull them over, and now, behold, the third tribe that really likes the Corax. And we also get the fourth tribe, the Red Talons. Because around this time, the Red Talons begin to realize that the perfect way to hunt and kill people is to have the Corax help you.
Yes.
And then we have the fifth tribe with the Fianna.
Very clever.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Fianna.
We got stories. We got stories, so don't drink with us.
Where the Corax flew over to Ireland and found the Fianna and said, hey, you guys need some intel. We're doing it with the Get a Fenris up north. You haven't met them yet. we can do that with you. And the Fianna said, Ace, let's do it. And that eventually led to the creation of a new totem, Morrigan.
Yes, indeedy.
Wonderful stuff. And the White Howlers, maybe we don't really talk about the White Howlers in this book.
I don't know. I imagine they would, given how early it is in the story.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at the page and they don't mention the White Howlers at all.
That's weird. I mean, given how like the Fianna and the White Howlers at that time were inseparable, I don't understand why.
Maybe it's because the White Howlers weren't very nice to the Corax.
That doesn't make any sense, but okay.
I mean, you know the White Howlers were this extremely rowdy, loud bunch. And they probably were too loud for the Corax. And the minute the Corax were start getting too gusty, the White Howlers would punch them in the face.
I mean, that's true. I mean, they mention politeness a lot in the book when it comes to the Corax.
That doesn't describe the White Howlers.
No. The White Howlers are the Fianna turned up to 11.
You swap out the alcohol with cocaine.
Yes.
All right. And let's see what happens here. I'm looking through the book. More recent stuff. Here we start getting anachronistic with the Corax book. They start telling whatever when it comes to their mind. So the next part of this is a little bit out of timeline. They just bring it up when they want to bring it up. They bring up the Industrial Revolution.
That's a bit of a leap.
The Corax loved it.
Really?
They thought it was fantastic. They said, we've got all this new stuff being invented. We've got guns. We've got cars. Hey, new plan. Let's get our hands on this stuff and then learn how it works. And then we tell the werewolves how it works. So they fly over to the White Howlers and they say, hey, check this new thing out. Well, what is it? No, they go over to the Silverfangs. They say, Silverfangs, check it out. What is it? It's a gun. Well, how's it work? You pull the trigger and it shoots out this ball. Well, how does it shoot out the ball? You pour gunpowder in it. Well, what does the gunpowder do? Oh, you pull back this little latch, which ignites the gunpowder when it goes down. And how far does it shoot? Oh, this far. And how long does it take to reload? This long. And how many of there are there? This many. And they start doing that with the werewolves, where they start informing them about Weaver Tech the day it's made.
That's pretty useful. It's like having your own IGN page.
Right.
And then the 7th werewolf tribe to like them comes around, the Glasswalkers. Known at that time as the Tetrasomnians.
It's like, hey,
So,
you like cool new stuff. We like cool new stuff. Let's talk about cool new stuff.
Let's hang out together and shoot guns and drink beer.
Another thing I like about the Corax, there's a lot of beer drinking.
Yes. A lot of eyeball drinking, too. You want to talk about the eyeballs now?
I may as well. Seems to be important.
So the Corax have a thing for eating people's eyes, and that's because there's a small ritual involved in it. You make I believe it's either wits and expression or perception and expression, difficulty 7. But you take the eyeball, you eat the eyeball. If you eat the left eye, you see the last moments of a person's life from a positive perspective. You eat the right eyeball, you see the last moments of a guy's life from a negative perspective. And it shows the bright side and the downside to death upon doing that.
That's kind of neat.
Though it only works with the one eyeball. You can only eat one of the eyes. It seems that the universe knows if you try eating both eyes, it doesn't work if you try to eat both eyes.
What if you eat them both at the same time? Is it just whichever digests first?
I guess so.
It's the only way I can think about it.
If you took Morpheus's red pill and blue pill at the same time.
Whoa, why did you do that? It's like taking the 500-gram Tylenol. Or no, the 500-gram Benadryl.
That's what I always take. It's fine. You're just gonna be fucked up for a little bit.
Gonna see demons.
See. And next we have their interaction with the Sunstriders. The Aesop of Owl and the Birds. Shall I read out this entire story for you?
May as well.
Do it up.
For here.
Owl and the Birds. When the acorn first began to sprout, an owl, in his wisdom, counseled the birds to pull it up by all means out of the ground and not allow it to grow. It would, he said, produce the mistletoe, which will poison all the birds. Owl next advised them to pluck the seed of the flax that men had sown, as it was a plant that brought them no good. Lastly, the owl, seeing an archer approach, predicted that the man, being on foot, would contrive darts armed with feathers, which should fly faster than the wings of the birds themselves. The birds gave no credence to these warnings, but considered the owl to be beside himself, and that he was mad. But afterwards, finding out his words were true, they wondered about his knowledge and deemed him the wisest of all the birds. Hence, it said that when you see an owl, you should go with his advice, for he is the smartest out of all of you birds.
So, because the owl totem, they like the silent striders.
It turns out that Raven was the one guy who thought Owl was pretty smart.
That's coming from Raven, who already has proven himself very intelligent.
So Raven starts meeting with Owl in the times of ancient Greece, and him and Owl have these big, long philosophical discussions on the ye olden telephone pole that definitely existed back then. And they would just go, very, very smart, very intelligent. Meeting of the minds. You're so smart, Owl. You're so smart, Raven. Smart, 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 smart. We're all so smart. And behold, 8th tribe, Black Furies, begins talking to the Corax because they're in Greece, and 9th tribe, Silent Striders.
But we already did Silent Striders.
Yeah, but they both joined around at the same time because they were both talking to Owl. The owl because Athena, and the owl because, well, that's the totem of the Silent Striders.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So behold, you get 2 different tribes with 1 interaction. And of course, the Ravens think around Greece, and they see the Spartans and the Persians and the Iliad and all the fun little legends of ancient Greece, and they say, yeah, all that was real. That all happened.
They were there. They saw it.
It was all real. Odysseus had the ultimate Sigma male story of saying there's 20 different men trying to marry my wife. I'll kill all these men and take my wife back.
And he did.
It was the ultimate Sigma male story until Beowulf was written.
I don't even know. Beowulf was just a Chad story. It's like, oh, I'm going to go kill this guy. And now we're all going to go back and drink and sing and have fun.
The conversation between the alpha male and the Sigma male.
Yes.
If you had Beowulf and Odysseus meet in the same room,
it would be basically, I am strong because I have killed 20 men to keep them from fucking my wife. Oh, well, I just killed people and then went home and drank and sang.
And next up was, let's see, getting my thoughts together. Tower of London is what they bring up next. So this is funny. The Tower of London, you know the legend where if all the ravens are to leave the Tower of London, the entirety of the United Kingdom will collapse.
Yeah, so?
I can't say that I have.
Well, that's the ye old in English legend. And that's true. You can check out the birds. They're still in that tower. But the reason is, why are the Corax hanging around this place? Well, first of all, it's a cairn. The Corax have a little cairn in that tower that the public know about, but because they made up their own legend about the world falling apart if they were to leave that tower, every other changing breed and every other supernatural in the world of darkness believes that story and leaves the Corax alone in that tower.
Oh, cool.
Very, very superstitious, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's a really good reason to stay there because Mithras, the greatest of all the Ventru, has his kingdom in London.
Because they got just direct spy network. They're MI6ing before MI6.
You want me to tell you just how many key players are in London?
Yes.
Shit ton?
Because we have, going to the line, Abraham Mellon, Aaron, Alistair Crowley, Anne Lindsay, Antoine, Arthur Halesworth, Black Wallace, Basir, Edward Bainbridge, Eric Baring Gould, Darius Shirazi, Dita Childhair, Frank Weisheitel, Gutstem, Gwendolyn Arwen, Hafsa, Helen Bay, John D., Juliet Parr, Kalila, Madame Giel, Mazella, Michael Gunther, Mithras himself, Montgomery Coven, Nathaniel Simmons, Paul Bedwell, Pierre Guideau, Randall Ransam, Reginald Moore, Richard DeWard, Rosna, Shisana, Stephen Lenore, Tiamat, Valerius, and Willem Timothy all in that area.
Was that Tiamat as
Oh,
in
fucking
Mother of
people.
Dragons Tiamat?
No, we're talking about Vintru Methuselah, who has been possessed by the spirit of Tiamat.
So she's still, I mean, fuck. Still a dragon.
Yeah, Tiamat in this story is a demon.
Okay, yeah, that tracks.
A demon, the fallen demon. So, first of all, highest concentration of vampires in one city. And second, demon, the fallen demon.
So
You're going to want a Corax there keeping tabs on that.
Absolutely.
yeah, fuck
That
London.
sounds
Place
terrifying.
sucks.
I've been there, and the sky was black my entire visit during the day.
Yeah, I was in London for about like 3 days before I went home, and it was cloudy every single day. There's
So
nowhere
you
to
gotta wonder why
goddamn eat
everybody's
in
so
that
depressed
city.
in London. Oh yeah, they just it's nothing but McDonald's and Tim Hortons. I had a miserable time in the United Kingdom. I get why everybody they were so depressed and sad all the time.
Come on, Birmingham, you want a fucking
And-
brawl?
All you've got is your tea and your football, and that's it.
Basically.
There really is nothing else to do.
No,
It's
there's some neat antiquity sites, but there's not a whole lot else after that.
Also, the other reason why you want to have guys in London, the Order of Reason,
Yeah, fuck them.
they got commissioned by the Queen of England in London and officially became the technocracy in London.
So it was the Queen of England who fucked it
Boom.
up for everybody.
Yeah. Iteration X, Projectors, New World Order, Syndicate, and Void Engineers all operate in that city. And they know about the vampires and let the vampires operate.
Damn, London's a shit show.
Yeah, you need the Corax there keeping an eye on all this.
I feel like a Garrow would get smoked in London as soon as they stepped in the street.
Oh yeah, you try fighting Mithras head to head. That guy has got fortitude out the ass. None of your attacks will damage him. But the other fun thing about the Tower of London. So ye olden King Bran of London died, and the Corax kept his head. It said, his head looks nice. Let's take it back to the tower with us. And they put it back in the deep depths of the Umbra and the tower. And then the head just began to grow in size as they held onto it until it became this giant head. And they thought, oh, that's weird. And then the head began to speak prophecies that came true. And then they kept that head around, and they just referred to it as the head. So if trouble is on the horizon, we will consult the head to see what needs to be done about it.
That's funny as shit. It's such a Corax thing to do. It's like, oh, we have the head of this king. Oh, we throw it in the Umbra. Nobody's going to bother it there. Oh, it's growing. Now it's talking and telling us shit that's actually coming true. Huh, I think we just accidentally found an oracle. Sick. Let's go tell the Garrow about this.
And there is no explanation as to how that happens. It just happens.
It's the deep Umbra. Anything is possible.
See, next up, fun little story about the Gafenris. One, Owain Glendower, or Glendower, who was the Prince of Wales back in the ye olden 1409. And they bring up about this, where they say the Gafenris tried conquering Wales back then, as the English army was trying to conquer Wales, and thanks to them collaborating with good old Glendower, they kicked the Gafenris out of Wales and kept Wales for themselves.
You're talking about the country.
Yes.
I thought you were talking about actual Wales for a second.
And they kept
The
all the Wales for
Kenefemra
themselves. And they said,
Saroon, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. They said, you will not get your hands on Moby Dick. He's all ours. We gotta score the soul with that whale. We're not letting a Fenris steal the glory of the kill from us.
Fenris is walking away with 11 spears in his back on whatever.
Yeah.
So I believe that is the second recorded loss of the Fenris.
So it was once against the Wendigo.
Really
well, that was a draw on Greenland, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is the first time they've been like pushed out of a country. It's because of the Corax. And the Corax aren't really that strong. When you look at their gifts, if you go up against the Corax and you attack him with a Geru Claw, more than likely he is going to die. But the Corax are all about sneak attacks, infiltration, setting up traps. That's how they do it, and they out-guerrilla warfared the Fenris.
That's pretty great.
Boom. Next up, all right, what else is on this list? We got more stuff about the Industrial Revolution. Second War of Rage. Great, right?
Yep.
Shadow Lords go over to South America. Shadow Lords talk to Octina. Shadow Lords see a Bane. Shadow Lords release the Bane, thinking the Octina were keeping it for themselves. Bane runs over, releases the Eater of Souls. Croatan die.
Yeah, good
And
job,
the
Shadow
Corax
Lords,
said-
dumbasses.
The Corax say they were trying to form a plan to solve the Eater of Souls issue by themselves, but nobody would collaborate with them. The Fenris were going around just fighting for the sake of fighting during the Revolutionary War and colonization. The Fianna were doing the same. Wendigo aren't listening. The Octina aren't listening. The Croatan have already decided they're going to sacrifice themselves. We swear they shouldn't do that, but they're doing it anyway. They keep saying it's their destiny to die and fight the worm. We keep telling them no. The Shadow Lords, for the first time ever, aren't listening to a thing we say. And now the Croatan are gone. And why didn't any of you listen to us? Why? Why? We could have solved this ourselves, and you didn't want to cooperate. You guys suck.
It sounds about right.
Yeah. And they liked the Croatan. They really did like the Croatan. The Croatan are gone now.
Yeah.
Because it's just about everybody that met the Croatan and talked with the Croatan liked the Croatan.
See our episode on the Croatan alt history for more information. Yes, Ryan.
Yeah, so all I said except for me. I don't like the Croatan.
Croatan. Because they're dead, right?
Yeah.
I'm not friends with dead people.
Room. Well, they're dead. They should have fucking died. Get good, scrub.
And next up, World War I. And they say this was the first major loss for the Corax. The Corax have suffered no real losses besides the War of Rage. This is when it started going downhill because a certain Wright brothers invented the aeroplane, which started flying into the Corax and turning them into chop suey.
Well, they probably fucked up the engine, though.
Yet you had Fomori pilots intentionally flying their planes into Ravens to kill Corax.
Yeah, that fucking sucks.
Psychopaths, right?
Yeah, it's like, wow, we're safe up here. What in the fuck is that winged piece of shit? It's made out of wood and canvas.
So you got planes, you got blimps, you got all this smog in the sky from this war, you got fires everywhere, they smell like gunpowder, and the car flies, we can't fly. And this sucks. This is terrible weather conditions. We gotta deliver all of our messages on foot, which is why World War I took so long to reorganize, because the Corax couldn't deliver messages as well. And they don't even bring up World War II because they say the same issues they had with World War I came back again in World War II. And now the Corax are in a bit of a tough position, but they don't let it sway them. The Corax still think they can pull a victory off this. They look at the world, they say things are looking pretty grim, pretty dark for the world, but we can still do something. We are the smartest, the most clever of all the changing breeds. We'll think of something in time before the world ends. And that's how the book ends for the history pages.
Yep.
Oh, wait, no, I'm lying. There's one more thing.
What's up?
The internet. So they realize if they can't fly as well as they used to, they are going to start going on the internet. And they, of course, talk with the glassworkers and Alan Turing, and they figure out how these computers, and they become computer whizzes. They are fantastic hackers. You look at groups like Anonymous, that's the Corax, who are going in surrounded by these nests filled with computers and wires, hacking into all these different databases, causing all these different cybersecurity attacks. You want to know why Pentex is so big about cybersecurity? It's because of the combined efforts of the Glasswalkers and the Corax.
That's how you do
That's
it.
why.
So it's not just going to be the Corax that's going to be able to take down, or not just the Glasswalkers that can take down Tellus. It has to be the Corax with them.
Exactly. And did we say that one of Telus' employees was a evil Corax?
No, it was the their CEO who was a fallen Glasswalker.
Yeah. I swore there was a Corax member of them too, but
There
I
might
might just
be.
be making it
I
up.
thought so as well.
I don't know. I'll have to go back and watch the episode again. I forgot.
Yeah, I think there was an evil Corax, but all right. So once again, we have a lot of pictures in this book of Corax eating eyeballs.
Cool. Can we get one?
Let's see. There's several of them. Which one do you want?
I don't know. Get one that won't
One that
get
looks
us.
coolest.
Okay, yeah. What Ryan said.
I mean, a lot. I mean, a lot of these have blend them. So
Whichever one might not get us content ID'd or age restricted.
let's see this. In fact, there's like just a lot of like bird pictures in this in general. While I'm getting that for you,
It's a book on the birds.
the procedure. Let's talk about the procedure.
What procedure?
Let's see, they have a moot that they call the procedure. So, all this is that all the birds find a nice tree that they want to sit in, and they'll all sit in that tree and wait for all the other Corax to arrive. And when they're in that tree, have a giant meeting where they say, what are the changing breeds up to? Oh, okay, well, they're up to this. Like, good. Let's see, let's learn about this. Okay, the changing breeds are doing this, the changing breeds are doing that. And it's pretty much this massive gossip corner where they share all the little gossip details with each other. And you remember how the Charlottes will talk about the Shadow Moots as if it's a unique idea that they came up with?
No, they got that from the Corax, didn't they?
They got it from the Corax, exactly.
Damn, the Galliard would be fucked without the Corax, I'm noticing.
Exactly. But at the same time, it's a check and balance against the Werewolf Nation, too. Because they're sharing details with each other about the werewolves as to whether or not the werewolves are about to lose their minds and kill them.
Well, yeah, they have a couple of heckling remarks about the Garo we'll get into later.
Here, we'll post this in history pages. This is an image that they set up. They have text between the two sides of this image. So here's the first half, and here's the second half. Smack two together, and there you go.
Interesting.
Yep, hang on. Let me see if I can fuckle with this a little bit. And come on.
You follow with that.
Time for Microsoft Paint, guys.
Yeah, open Sketchbook.io.
Yeah, it kind of works. No, I got it. I got it on the screen where it's still like a little divided, but like they get the gist of the image.
There you go. So left eye shows you the bright side of death. Right eye shows you the bad side of death.
Oh, neat.
And there you go.
That'd make a tight album cover, though. Just saying.
with like a little bird reflection in the eyeball coming to eat your eye.
Yes.
The Corax also have their own glyphs, where the Geru will have those massive gash marks whenever they do a glyph. The Corax have the same, but with little claw stabs.
That makes sense.
Now we reach the part of the book where we get to talk about camps.
Yes, camp time. We all like camping.
This is surprising to me because this is the one and only other changing breed that has this.
What's that?
Camps.
Yes, that's true. So there are a couple.
Yeah.
A couple of notes about the Corax in general as we talk about camps is that, as I said before, Corax are social, not pack animals. So they'll go around and they'll talk to everybody. They'll talk to other Corax. They'll talk to the Garo. They'll talk to the other Fera. But they don't like to hang around each other for extended periods of time. Like Corax's main job is to observe, to discover, swap info, and they could talk for hours and everyone at the table is expected to know everything that everyone else has talked about. Because, delivering accurate information is paramount to being a Corax. However, working with a group kind of limits their ability to go wherever they need to go. They need that they need that space in order to follow any hunches. Like, even the most, outlandish rumors they have to follow up on, because you never know which one's going to come back and fuck you up later. However, there are some rare occasions in which Corax will band together for a very specific mission and then immediately break up afterward, otherwise known as a murder of crows, and they usually work on committee. Basically what it goes is they will all get together and they will decide, okay, who's going to be in charge of this and why, and usually it turns into whoever, is the loudest. Organized squads can be incredibly efficient scouts and incredibly useful for gathering intel. But most of the time, they just kind of sit around and squawk at each other. There are very few permanent arrangements when it comes to Corax camps, but there are a few that I'm going to talk about now. First being the Sunlost. The Sunlost are a sort of subgroup of Corax that just kind of fucked off into the deep Umbra to see what they could see. Occasionally, though, and sometimes they'll even lay their eggs down in there. They'll build homes in the Umbra. It's very, very rare that you will find a Sunlost, and occasionally they will come back up to the shallows in order to swap stories with other Corax who are there. But if a Sunlost finds you, he is looking for you in particular. That's usually when you have a quest to fulfill. They'll say, I have found something in the Umbra. I need to tell you about it, and you need to tell everybody that you look at about it. And that is basically your mission from a Sunlost. However, neat little thing I noticed is that the Corax will always know when a Sunlost dies. A single feather shows up at the spot where the deceased spirit egg hatched. There's no idea how it got there. Maybe it's a wind spirit. But they think it's maybe... It's also a note that they believe that Hugin and Munin are still alive. But actually, no, they don't think. They know. They think they're still alive. But they've never seen feathers for them. But they probably know where to look for that. I'm going to read a little...
It seems that they've copied...
What?
They copied a little bit of Odin's magic and found out that advanced life extension.
Yes. There's a little scripture here that I'm going to read verbatim because I thought it was just really neat. It sounds like the start of a quest. If you ever run a game where you play as Fera breeds, it'd be cool to play as a Corax. Malcolm, I'm sure that barring catastrophe, you will be the one to find this. You do not know me, nor should you. Suffice to say that I gave myself to craft the egg that hatched he who gifted you with flight. You might consider me your grandfather, if you consider me at all. I have left you a trail to where a misplaced soul wanders lost. She is a sad little ghost, banished from her proper Umbra. You must find her and guide her to a place where she can cross back to her own realm. If you do this, she will remember you, and in a year and a day, she will tell you a story that will save your life. If you do not do this, then you will die 8 days later. I, of course, will witness neither outcome. I do hope, however, that you choose the course I suggest. Farewell, grandson. Garnets for eyes. Just neat little story about that one. I really like the idea of the Sunlost. That is a quest starter right there.
It is. It makes for a good archetypal herald in your game.
Yes.
Good story, too.
Very, very.
Yeah,
I love that idea.
You play as a group of Sunlost trying to get to the guy you need to deliver the message to.
Yes. It's kind of like the movie 1917, if you've seen that.
And given that it's the Deep Umbra, I'm thinking something along the movie 9, which is how desolate the world looks like in the Deep Umbra.
I've never watched 9, but I've been meaning to give it a shot because I've heard it's spectacular.
You've got some creepy-ass monster design in that movie.
Yep. What was that movie rated again?
PG-13.
Ain't no fucking way.
I think so.
Some teenagers didn't sleep well after that movie.
You said 9?
Yeah, 9. Yeah.
That was a rated.
Rated what? Rated what? So what? What is it?
Tell us.
What is it?
Yeah, PG-13.
Yeah,
I was right.
Yeah, it's wild how some shit gets past people like that. It's like
Well, because there's no blood in it.
That's true. That's probably why. It's kind of like that movie. It's kind of like the Black Cauldron, and how that movie was supposed to be like a lot more. Was this supposed to be like a rated R movie?
No, it was supposed to be like more adult, but it's Disney and nobody liked the project, so they sabotaged it.
Was it Iger or Katzenberg who cleaved that project?
Katzenberg.
Yeah, that's what I fucking thought.
Katzenberg. Everything Katzenberg has ever done in his life has been out of spite.
Yes. So anyway, the Morrigan, they are battle crows. They are incredibly scary. Basically whenever a Corax, there are only 3 positions in the Morrigan. Only 3. And you have to be chosen by the Morrigan itself. Once you join a Morrigan, you will lose your name, and you are named from one of the faces of Morrigan from legend, Bebd, Nemain, or Morrigu. And they are given the site. Can you fill me in on the site?
The site?
Yes.
Well, what do you think what do you think that means?
Ability to see beyond. I feel like it's a sort of light version of Auspex.
Yeah, like that. Where it's more like future sight than anything else.
It's like, it says in the book that the wind tells them where the next battle of the Garrow is going to be. It might be they're always there every time the wolves take up serious arms. They always bring eagles with them, too, to feed upon the corpses after Morrigan drinks their eyes. So basically, don't fuck with them, they're scary.
I do like the whole smite interpretation of the Morrigan when you look at her in her 2 pages.
Yeah. Oh, let me get that.
Yeah, because whenever I think of the Morrigan in this story, I always think of this design.
Yeah, she is kind of scary looking. I like it though. Like she's a very piercing
I'll probably
gaze.
Want to put a long raven cloak on her too.
Yeah, it would be. I like the hair and the feathers around her collar. That's pretty tight.
Yeah. Dead eyes.
Let's see. Back to where I was. Murderer's Daughters. These are wannabe Black Furies.
Daughters.
They are wannabe Black Furies. They are a bunch of girls that want to be a Morrigan but aren't. They go around picking fights and swarming peoples. They hang out in vampire dens just so they could fuck around and try and kill them. It's a time-honored tradition dating back to at least 1952. But don't argue with them because you're just gonna get the shit kicked out of you. They're basically just very, very angry female Corax. Yeah, so next... You have the Hermetic Order of Swift Light. What's up? Go ahead.
Wait a minute.
What?
The fucking quote here is like fucking tsundere.
Yeah. What are you, Shinji? Some yellow-ass coward? Or just a hefty variety of stupid? Look, I don't know if you already thought about this or not, but war is a fact of life. The Morrigan know that, and they know how to get things done about it. You want to come over here and tell me that I'm following a lame tradition? Come on, dipshit. Something on your mind? Go ahead. Say it. I got him. Dare you. It's times like this I'm reminded of the words of Biggie Smalls. Smack a bitch in the face, take a Gucci bag and a North Face.
Fucking Oscar.
Shinji, crank that soldier boy.
That's the next one.
Okay. The Hermetic Order of Swift Light. Basically, they are Wayfarer Corax. They trade information at a price. They got a neat, cozy little office in Manhattan on Madison Avenue for a fucking ridiculous rent. Basically, they sell information. Most people that work there are Corax kinfolk, but there's only one Corax at the head of it. Basically, they will hire other Corax as messengers in order to deliver stuff. Like, people will broker information with them and then hire other Corax to do the work. It's kind of a neat concept. This could also be like a quest starter, or maybe you're a Corax already associated with the Hermetic Order, and you have to like take off because you've been given a quest by a Sun Lost, but it might be too rough to tell the Hermetic Order, because then they'll just keep it and then sell it, which is in violation of the litany of the Corax. But you also need to tell somebody as soon as possible. It'd be a neat little story, that. Okay.
It also works with the whole relationship between the Glasswalkers and the Corax, where the Corax do have a few unsavory things to say about the Glasswalkers, but it looks like they work a lot with the Glasswalkers these days.
Well, I mean, the Glasswalkers are pretty up on how to handle the modern world, so why not?
Yeah, you got the corporate wolves, and behold, you have a corporate wolf CEO and then his Corax secretary.
Basically, yes, that's how it goes.
The joke of Secretary Bird.
Yep. I love the fucking I love the narrator of this book, because he's just such a smarmy asshole. I love him. He talks about the Chasers.
It really is a good Corax.
Who?
Yeah. The Chasers.
Yes. They're young people trying to be X-Files. They try to clean out Bane's nest, but it's a very quick way to just get fucking killed. Most murders of Chasers break up after only about a year or two. Basically, it's a bunch of young Corax who are like, it's like the unisex version of the Murder's Daughters, and then they just go and get fucking schlacked.
So,
yeah.
That corpse isn't just the victim of your average everyday vampire friends. Look at the discoloration around the edges of the wounds. That kind of pre-mortem information is above and beyond the norm. I think we have a Giovanni on our hands. Anyone care to drink a night?
Basically, yes. They're running around playing X-Files is exactly what the fuck that is.
Now, I think if I were to put Jaden in a camp, the correct character that we've had in our life play, I think it would be Chaser.
More than likely, yes, because he doesn't seem like very much fun. But we'll find that out when I drag him to Rip Van Winkle and get him fucked up wasted.
You gotta find him in that New York administration car again.
No, I'm basically like, this next episode is, okay, I need to find a way to stop Storm from being dragged into Hirano, and then, get him laid with like a fucking there's a fly in here. Get him laid with a troll or something, and then we can think of a way to make this plan work.
Yeah, I do hope that I'm not putting too much like stuff in the hands of Freya.
Of Freya?
Yeah. Do you think she's too powerful of a character?
No, I mean, her spells didn't go off at all last session.
And Ryan, it's your call. Let's do the Corax Litany.
Yes.
The Corax Litany. There's a bunch of.
They have their own litany.
Whoa.
They're all interesting, absolutely. So we're gonna start off with drinking some water.
Take a sippy.
My throat has been hoarse, so bear with me.
As has mine.
Give it a little cough.
Of course.
All right. So the first law of the Corax is there are no secrets. It's your duty to uncover every secret you can, even the unpleasant ones. Left alone in the dark, secrets fester, rot, turn into some damn unpleasant things. It is our duty to uncover things that others want hidden, because odds are, if someone's taken the effort to hide some information, that information is dangerous. If you hear a rumor or catch a detail that nags at you, you had best follow up to the best of your ability, or they'll be held to pay. Hail? Damn.
Hail.
You Never know if that lead you ignore is being too ridiculous, will turn into the thing that bites you in the ass.
Follow
Exactly.
every lead.
You are the Sherlock Holmes bird. Figure it out. Figure out everything.
Like I said,
Next
the
up,
fucking Garo would be screwed if it weren't for the Corax.
share what you know.
Yes, share what you know. Information does no good in a bottle. It doesn't matter if you know the 3 magic words that will save the world, as long as those words are locked in a box, locked in your brain box. They are not doing anyone any good, including yourself. Odds are you are not going to be able to do a damn thing about most of the secrets you uncover, but that's not the point. After all, we're not here to take care of the messes, and just uncover them. That's why it's necessary to share what you know. Tell others who can tell others who can tell others who might be able to do something about whatever you stumbled on. On a more somber note, the sooner you spread the word over what you know, the safer you are. If you are the only one who knows what the local Pentex subsidiary is up to, you're the prime target. If you tell 3 other Corax, who tell 3 more each, who tell a buttload of Garo, well, suddenly you're way down on the hit list priority. And if they do catch you, if word of what you found gets out, at least you didn't die in vain. Share what you know is basically a pyramid scheme of information.
Yes. It's like, okay,
Yeah,
I know this one thing, and I'm going to tell fucking everybody about it. And now I've got like 150 other people to kill first who know about it.
I couldn't say that myself.
Yes.
You might be hearing me fumbling around, so we get another glass of wine.
Johnny trying to sleep good tonight.
Teach them what they'll learn.
Teach them what they'll learn. Not everyone accepts the straight dope from us, or even likes us. And sometimes the folks that won't listen are the very same ones that you need to get information to. In that case, Raven has authorized the use of unnecessary and ridiculous force. More to the point, the methods don't matter. The information has to get through. It doesn't matter how, it doesn't matter if you have to get a whole pack of Garu hallowing for your blood, or if you have to make yourself look like an idiot to get Simba to listen. If they have to know, then it's your job to let them know. And you will do whatever it takes. Dig, because there's damned little more important than making sure the right info gets into the right people.
There you go.
Yes.
You know who the Simba are, right?
Yeah, the Simba. They're
Honestly,
Bastet, I think.
Yeah, the Were Lion.
100% thought Lion King.
Yes.
That's what I thought
what
too
they're
when
named
I
after.
first
I mean,
read
it's
it.
Swahili for lion. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Well, of course, you know, like Simba doesn't listen. He's just so far up his own ass. You gotta kill his dad, and then he's gonna listen to you.
Yeah, basically.
It makes you wish you're talking to Kimba instead.
Yeah.
Protect the eggs.
Protect the eggs. This one is a no-brainer. Eggs are our future. We are too few as it is. Defend a spirit egg with everything. Up to, but not including, your own life. We can't afford to lose a single one of us, even to save another, except under the most dire circumstances. But a threat to an egg is intolerable. If you see anything going after a spirit egg, cowboy the bastard.
Gotta keep an eye on the babies, right?
I like the wording of that.
Exactly.
Cowboy the bastard. Shoot him down in the street.
A lot of Corax do know how to use guns.
For a bullet fairly ripped.
I mean, you have in Naga comic, there is a sniper involved in it.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, exactly. They use guns.
Yeah, guns are cool.
Remember why you're here.
Remember why you're here. We are the Knight. We are Knight the Fighters. That is English right there. We are the night fighters. We are the scouts and the communication officers. Yeah, it's tempting to be the one to save the day or rescue the girl, but we're not built for that. And trying stupid heroics is a good way to get yourself killed. Your job is to get information and get out, preferably without the enemy seeing you. If you do get spotted, escape makes more sense than fighting, particularly since he can call on more reinforcements than you. Before you throw a single punch, consider what you are up against, what your odds of walking away from the fight are. 9 times out of 10, that should be enough to send you scurrying in the opposite direction as fast as you can go. In the end, it is not important who gets the job done. It's important that the job gets done. And if the job is kicking ass, there are a lot of other folks out there that are better than we are.
At least
Until
they
it comes to
know.
whales, right?
Whales?
Yes, until it comes to the living, breathing whales that are in the ocean.
The beautiful Welsh country.
Yeah, start playing Flying Whales
So-
by Gojira.
Yeah, a Corax won't fight you head on. He's going to fight you using guerrilla tactics. As we found out with our live play, Jaden got crumpled after 2 punches from Grim. But so the second time you saw him, he's on the rooftop throwing bladed feathers down at the enemy.
What was the name of the bad guy from
I'm
the second
better
Kung
than
Fu Panda movie?
Lord Shen.
Yeah, it's him.
Didn't
Yeah,
Jaden break the litany when he did that?
Throwing the no, that was
No, fighting Grim.
no, because he doesn't follow the same rules as you.
Well, yeah, no, I'm saying, according to this, they aren't really supposed to fight. They're supposed to get information and get out. But
It's more that
challenged.
the way I was going to run it is that if Sean didn't leave to take care of his baby, I was going to have Jaden be a part of the group for longer. And the way Jaden was going to fight is that he was going to go into Corvid form, gather information from you, for you, fly back to position, and then attack in the shadows. And he said, I'm going to be Pack Alpha because I'm the tactician. I know combat charging better than you do. But then Grim won the fight, and then we started going along with Grim's plans of fighting things head on.
Yeah, basically.
That was not a smart decision.
No, but like nobody else could beat Grim in a fight. I think
With
maybe
all
Chica
your
would be
fun
the only one who'd
talents.
be close.
I was going to say Alhara because of Mob Resurgence.
That's true as well.
Bear Witness.
Bear witness. Give me 1 second.
More drink oiter.
All right. I am back.
Soul, every living
Bear
soul.
Every living soul has a story, and it is part of our mandate to save as many of those souls as we can. That is why we drink the eyes of the dead. After all, a great source of information. Sure. Oh, sorry. I fucked that up. It's a great information source, sure, but it's also respect. And making sure some of the little bit of the corpse story gets carried away by someone. The other part of this rule is that you cannot turn away. Not now, not ever. No matter how brutal or horrifying what you're looking at might be, and I'm talking about anything from killing fields of kombucha to the worst bits of bed stew. Stoy?
Yeah.
You have to see it all, so that when you tell the tale, you tell it right. To do anything less is disrespectful and dangerous. There's no cutting corners in the business.
To explain what Bed Story is, that is Bedford Stuyvesant in Brooklyn.
Still don't know.
Pretty shitty district. Yeah, a shitty district of New York. First thing I give them, Bed Story is home to Brooklyn's worst buildings.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's a pretty like shitty neighborhood to live in. Is what they're getting at.
It's like the Queensbridge projects.
Yeah, I'm pulling up like supposedly nice pictures of it, and like just garbage on the street.
Yeah.
Right. And of course, the killing fields, we know about Yeo Pol Pot.
Yep.
What a great leader he was.
Yeah,
So,
highly recommend listening to the Dead Kennedy song about that.
So the Corax got to do it. Somebody's got to record history, and it's going to be the Corax who do it.
Yeah.
Now, the truth matters.
The truth matters. Partial or inaccurate information gets people killed. You are not allowed to skimp on your observations for any reason, from your tender sensibilities to the fact that you are getting the heebie-jeebies. If you can't tell the story accurately, if you don't have the facts, then don't tell the story at all. Don't make things up to patch the holes, because that always leads to disaster.
There you go. There you go. Corax are the good guys. That the media is the enemy of the people, and the Corax understand that.
Yes.
If you hate journalists, you don't hate them enough.
Yep. I got a picture of my phone from, like, I think it was like some EU journalist, I think a Frenchman, going up to either a Russian or a Ukrainian soldier, and the soldier just looks at him and goes, basically, I think all Western journalists are fags. Yeah, you know, he's not wrong.
Just dropping that in the video.
Yep. That's a great video. I love that video.
You laid down the context for it, so I think we can get away with that one.
Yes.
All right, and everything is part of a cycle.
Everything is part of a cycle. Don't judge anyone or anything out of context. Gaia had a plan when she put this rock together, and everything has a part in it. So don't jump to conclusions about whether someone or something is unnecessary until you figure out what they're figure out why they're doing what they're doing, and what purpose it serves in the grand scheme of things. After all, someday someone might just look at you with your beak buried in a corpse's peepers and decide that you are some gross bit of vermin barely worth the round of birdshot he buries in your ass to protect the sanctity of the body from your unholy depredations. In other words, judge not lest ye be judged.
I like this narrator. He's great.
The sentence gets so weird towards the end. It's like, oh yeah, I'm not some sort of Hasidic hillbilly with a snoot full of honeybees.
Yes. It's fucking great.
Yeah, but yeah, this is like good point all around. Everything's part of a cycle. I mean, you can't kill the worm. The Corax know you can't kill the worm. The worm is part of nature. But you can try to restore the balanced worm. You can try to do that.
Yeah, you just have to kill enough of all the bad worms, and then the good worm comes back.
The tasty worms, the Corax can tell you all about which worms are the most delicious.
Here, I'll prefer mate myself.
Right. Don't play favorites.
Don't play favorites. We owe both Helios and Raven tremendous debts, and we should show our respect every chance we get. This means whispering every secret we learn into the air, not to mention thanking both of them at every paramount. Furthermore, it means recognizing that we're damn lucky to have the favor of two powers like that, and that we probably shouldn't do anything to screw that relation up. So demonstrate proper reverence to both, kiddo. Play favorites with Helios, and you might just get burned.
Mm-hmm.
That's
of course
terrible pun by him.
Yeah, they got that from Luna.
Yep.
You figured out that what a stupid idea that was because of Luna. Fly.
Lie. Give me 1
Fly.
second. I'm gonna take another drink of water.
Fly.
Drink all the water you need. Is good for you.
You're a bird. You gotta fly. Think about this.
You have been given an unimaginable gift. Wings. So use them. Fly. Because it's a dead certainty that no one else in your family can. Experience everything you can. Talk to everyone you can. Learn as much as you can and look at things from as many angles as you can. Why? Because you can. That's why. As much fun as just getting a airborne is, it is also symbolic of what we're doing here. If you can look at a problem from any other angle, say from above, you have to do so. Don't let any of your talents or opportunities get wasted. Otherwise, why the hell did someone think you were worth wings to begin with?
I mean, Kyle, have you seen Yes Man?
I have not. No.
So it's taking a minute to load. It's an 8.88 megabyte picture, copy pasted into history pages. So everything that Ryan just said reminds me of this movie.
What about it?
It's a movie about Jim Carrey, who's this pessimist after his wife divorces him, and then he just says no to all these different situations until he attends a seminar, where the idea he gets from it is that he says he needs to say yes to everything. And it ultimately ends up leading to him meeting a girl he likes, making friends again, learning new languages, helping patch people's relationships back up together, and living a more fulfilling life because he's taking chances.
Just say yes.
And there you go. But also say no if you really, really, really don't want to do something.
Sure.
I mean, yeah.
And it also has the scene with him singing to the guy on the windowsill with the guitar might be one of my favorite scenes in movies, period.
That's funny.
I'm thinking like if you want inspiration for your D&D bard, go with that that scene.
I don't know. After Fly, I was thinking about the scout from Team Fortress 2. Grass grows, birds fly, sun shines, and brother, I hurt people.
Chapter 150 of Chainsaw Man.
Yes.
And last one. Laugh.
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 Laugh or you'll cry. In the middle of all the bullshit that we have to put up with, and believe me, it's worse than you can imagine. You have to remember that we've been given some tremendous gifts. In spite of it all, kid, we are lucky. Damn lucky. We get to fly after all. So laugh. Look for humor in everything. Because sure as spit, it's there. And after drinking Dead Man's Eyes and seeing the horrors this rock holds, you'll need it. A moment of laughter at the right time can tide you over through a bad patch until you can get the wind behind you again and realize how sweet life really is.
This is why I like the Corax so much as characters. It's because of that last tenet of their litany.
Bro, I love the Corax. This is the best faction in all the Fera. Fuck everybody else.
I think them, the Sonic Shredders, and the Bonars to an extent, and the Geta Fenris, those are the four universal goods in the story.
I don't know about the Geta Fenris. They do kill a lot of shit.
They're assholes, but they do the right thing.
Yeah, that's fair.
Of course we do.
Now, there is the Salubri as well, but there aren't that many of them left.
It also depends on what Solat's going to do in your games.
Yes.
And
or if you find Solat.
If you find him, or if he's not Shamir, if you want to go with an alternate event and have him be Shamir instead.
It was Tremere in hiding the whole time.
Yeah, you're fucked if it's Tremere.
Yeah, basically.
And now we have Corax around the world, where, guess what? They're all over the world. Each one of you name a continent, and I'll read about them from it.
Let's start with a place we haven't talked about a lot this episode. Asia.
Asia. Let's go to Asia. Talk about the Corax in Asia. Tengu territory. Japan. They have a pretty decent-sized territory in Japan. You know Tokyo?
Yes.
You like to hang out there.
Well, there's beer there.
They also say
there's beer everywhere.
Yes.
That China fucking sucks. That's because the Kuei Jin are everywhere.
Yeah, that'd put a damper on things.
Yeah, they can fuck with vampires. They don't want to fuck with the Kuei Jin.
Well, the Kuei Jin are kind of scary.
Yeah, after the massive long game they played, and now they're everywhere in China.
Long games is their favorite kind of games.
Then, there's very few Cainite vampires in China because of the Kuei Jin. They've gone to Siberia. They've gone to Russia. They say it's not as bad as you think. There's some good their kinfolk there, and there's the Wendigo, and the Siberiac, and the Siberiac invite us in, and we have a wonderful time.
Nice.
And then we go over to, and then they go to the Pacific Northwest, and yeah, it's pretty cool there. You got the Actina there too. They say don't stay there for too long because the Actina get a little bit weird.
Well, yeah, it's the Actina.
Yeah. And Ryan, give me a continent.
Give you a continent. Let's see. I don't know my continents because
You've got a selection of
poor at history.
5.
That's right. There's 7. We'll go Antarctica.
Antarctica. It's illegal to go to Antarctica. There's no birds in Antarctica because the technocracy has kept them out.
Like, actually, is that a thing?
No, it's not in the book, but that's what I'm saying.
That's funny.
Yeah, you can't go to Antarctica because the damn technocrats are blocking you from flying in there.
That's incredibly funny.
You think about that too. Just as remote as Antarctica is, like all the shit the governments are doing there, just any government.
Yeah, that seems like the spot for like a Dr. Evil type lab to be.
Yeah, you want to talk about Guantanamo Bay? Now you can do that in Antarctica, and nobody will know what you're doing.
Yeah, that's even scarier.
It's,
Prison camp in Antarctica, that'd fucking suck.
And I can't get a plane to Antarctica. I just gotta stay here forever. I can never go to Antarctica.
No, unless you're like in a scientific research base.
All right, by the way, here's your little Corax glyph right there. There's your guide to it. I see that the text is bled through the other page. You see that right? You squint at that, you can see the text on the other side.
Yeah, you kind of can. It's kind of neat.
Ah, well, I didn't know.
Worm spirits, weaver spirits. I love the party symbol. They have
party. It's an upside down smiley face.
Yep.
Next up, relationships.
Oh, okay. We're done with talking about continents. Cool.
Yeah.
All right, cool. If that is the case, the Corax, it is their job to watch everybody. And they do mean everybody. That is why Gaia put them there. It is just their job. But having an opinion on everything is the fun part of the job. As the book says, of course, we don't just watch. We get opinions on them all, which is the fun part. I mean, what's the point of being made to watch the movie of the world 24/7 from the day you're born if you don't at least get to heckle? I don't know about you, but I love to heckle. Starting off with the Garrow, some general notes about them. They're dumb. Some of them are smart, but most just don't fucking think. And this quote, this motherfucker right here, this based individual who is narrating the book, this quote sums up the Garrow so perfectly that I can't even fucking describe it. Quote, where did I fucking put that quote? God damn it. I had it right here. Here, okay, quote. I mean, if they had their shit together, they'd stop beating the snot out of one another, gang up like a bunch of big fuzzy super friends and kick the worm's butt. They could do it too, you know. No bullshit. No, that's just the Garrow. By and large, that's just the fucking Garrow. Fight the war first, worry about credit later. But they're just like
angry. All the time. They're just mad.
Yeah, basically. And so basically the Corax just go, I like our chances of tricking them into saving the world a lot better than I like their chances of figuring out how to do it on their own. So if even from the beginning when Raven tried to trick Helios into taking them in and then did eventually. That's always the Corax. It's like, we can't just tell them to save the world because they're not going to do that. We have to like make them stumble into saving the world. It's like, get smart.
It's like that little video we showed, like, yeah, follow the Raven. Keep following the Raven. He's going to show you what you got to do. There it is. Go do it, you dumbass.
Basically, yes. Wolves aren't very smart. Starting off individually, we have the Black Furies. The Black Furies, they're supposed to be all about balance, but way too many of them are, quote, 9-foot-tall, man-hating, castrating bitches stereotype. Direct quote from the book. But they do like what they get up to behind the scenes. Shelters, help hotlines, honest to Gaia caring. They respect the hell out of that. But some of the younger ones are a bit too high off their own air. So, overall they're okay.
Well, they do have a friend with that the misandrist camp of Corax.
You mean the Morgans or the murderer's daughters?
The murderer's daughters, yeah.
Yeah. So yes, they do. The Bonars, as above, so below. The Corax see everything from above. The Bonars take a look at everything from ground level. They're good guys, but they've been living in cities too long. And they just never look up, much like everyone else in the cities. So, they spy on everyone else, and the Corax spies on them, and the Bonars have no idea that they're doing that. But if a Bonar cops an attitude with the Corax, then you have every right to fuck him up. The worm doesn't get to every Bonar who disappears. We claim our share.
Yeah, it's good to know that somebody's watching the Watchers, because the Bonars keep their eye on the Glasswalkers to make sure they're not too corrupted. But maybe the Bonar caves and eats a cheeseburger from Otali's and then gets a worm inside of him. Just want to kill that Bonar. Don't worry, the Corax have the little cleanup crew to handle that werewolf.
Basically, yes. They have a corruption cleanup kit.
Also, I'm thinking of a whole dinner between them where the Bonar is sitting next to his little trash can fire with a pot of stew over the flame, and then the Corax just begin to land and fly around him. Or hell, you can have the little bag lady Bonar with the bird seed.
Yeah, basically, that's what it is.
You go up and you try to harass the bird lady, and then all of a sudden the crows start standing up on two legs, growing in size.
Yeah, it scared it. I mean, that's a veil breach right there.
Yeah, that scared the hell out of somebody.
It would, but it'd be really
scared
funny.
the hell out of everyone.
Yeah. The children, I love their description on the children of Gaia. They're so nice. So very, very nice. They wander around, doing nice things, saying nice things, and hoping to make the world a better place. Get a fucking plan. Fucking organize. Do fucking something big. I swear to God. You're so fucking nice, and we love you because you're so nice, but fucking do something.
I ended up watching a morbid as hell movie last night. Speak No Evil.
What was that?
And it's a Danish couple that hangs out with a Dutch couple that slowly but surely begin to break down our social boundaries, as in they abuse their son in front of the couple. They ask their daughter to sleep naked in bed with the husband. And with that example, they say, why would you do that with my daughter? And they say, well, what father would let their daughter do that with a stranger? It's not my fault I did that. It's your fault for letting me do that.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, and there's a quote that comes up in the movie where you can't be peaceful if you're not capable of violence. If you say you're peaceful without the ability to be violent, you're not peaceful, you're harmless.
Yeah.
And it's a movie about the danger of being a harmless person. You see all this shit going on in front of you, and you're so scared about getting hurt or hurting other people, you end up becoming completely useless.
Exactly.
And that's what they see the Children of Gaia as.
That's why you have the patient deed.
Yeah, the patient deed and the imminent strike.
Yes.
Where they're looking at the servants of the unicorn, the anointed ones, the world tree, and they say, you guys need to nut up because you're not contributing anything to anyone. You have your little social network groups. Great. We have ours. We're making more progress with ours than you are with yours.
Basically is where they're at. Yes.
Yeah.
And my boys, the Fianna. The Corax put it, the Fianna are the best and worst of all the Garrow all at once. They are the self-proclaimed best at fighting, fucking, drinking, singing, storytelling, and pretty much everything else because, the Fianna are overconfident, and I love them for that. However, they are also too busy beating the shit out of each other to do anything to the worm. The English and Irish are still fighting over, not Ulster, which is where the line gets drawn, but Dublin. Even the humans settled that hundreds of years ago. But for the Corax, it's unofficial company policy to just help them out whenever they could, especially if they're going to do something fucking stupid. The Fianna have a pretty good understanding of why the Corax do what they do, and if a Raven tells a Fianna he's going to do something stupid, the Fianna usually backs down and goes, well, if Corax is telling me this, then I guess it's pretty important, which is pretty, they chalk it up to being just memories of Morrigu and all that.
So you've got a pretty close-knit relationship between these two, because the Fianna have gone through a lot, and the Corax have realized that somebody needs to fill the hole of the White Howlers. Granted, you can never do that because the White Howlers are still around as the Black Spirals. That pain is always going to be there, but the Corax do their best to be the number two.
Yeah.
To try to heal the wound that never will.
The Fianna are pretty indicative of the joke that John Mulaney told about Irishmen and how they bottle up emotion. Basically, the Fianna are the quintessential joke of, an Irish person, whenever they have something bad to them, they go, okay, I'm going to put all the bad thoughts here, and then one day I'll die. Mm-hmm. It's like, Seamus, your son's died. All right, bury the boy. That's basically the Fianna at this point.
Oh, Daddy boy, the pipes are calling. They sing that song every time a man dies in Ireland.
Yeah, I wanted to write a song about the Fianna called, well, not just the Fianna, but about Garrow, called Howl for Me When I Die. I feel like that'd be a good emotional song. Anyway, yeah, the Fianna.
The Goth.
Yes, the Goth, the Get Ephemeris. So there's a lot of Get who have Raven as a totem in the Hugin immune to Teutonic High Digundan aspect. So they share a lot of memories with the Get Ephemeris. They've had a working partnership for a long time. They've got a lot. Both the Get Ephemeris and the Corax have very long memories, and there isn't a part. And the Get won't have a party without a Corax to tell them about all the good old days of the times that Beowulf would fight somebody and then drink the mead and sing the songs, and everybody would have a good time.
And it was awesome.
Yes, and it was awesome. They have a deep respect for tradition and a frat boy love of carnage, but do not argue politics with them. Just don't worry. Just keep your mouth shut until they start drinking, and then collect all the intel you can.
It's that, Graham, what do we think of this?
It's a classic.
It's classic. Classic Corax. I am thinking of a weird scene, like, I had Corax and the Get Ephemeris at the gym, and it's arm day, and you have the Corax struggling to do their set while the Get Ephemeris is in the string tank top cheering for the Corax to finish the set.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, I still got about 2 more weeks in the cut. I can eat whatever I want as long as it's in my macros. I can just eat whatever I want. Come on, you got 5 more reps. You can do this.
Basically, yeah. I knew this dude who's a professional bodybuilder, who's a friend of mine. I'm not going to say his name, but I remember, like, the last couple of times I've seen him, he's been on a very strict diet. But I remember I show up one time, we're all sitting in the basement having a couple of drinks. I went on a Nuggies run for everybody because they've been drinking. We're all sitting there, we're watching Chainsaw Man Season 1, eating some Mackie D's, and my friend's younger brother shows up, and he has like this plate of assorted cheesecakes with him, and this dude is just jacked as hell. Literally, he looks like the Doomslayer. He got the fucking Doom tattoo on his back, and so he picks up this plate of cheesecake, just starts shoveling them in. I'm like, are you on like some really strict diet or something like that? He's like, I take anabolic steroids. I can do whatever the fuck I want.
That's how you get gains, dude. You gotta cheat.
No, he was big before then. He just wanted to get a leg up on a competition.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the Glasswalkers. I love how the book puts this, and I keep quoting the book a lot, but I can't help it. It's so well written. These jokers have decided that they can get a bird's eye view by building up to it. They are furry vampires. All they need is Hemoglobin Jones and they're set. There's nothing wrong with modernization, and they're really good at getting data that the Corax can't. But Gaia doesn't do urban primitive. One or the other. Calm the fuck down.
Well, it's, joke's on you because the glassworkers are sitting very pretty in Modern Nights.
Yeah, they are.
And with the whole AI in the news all the damn time, I think the glassworkers are stronger today than they've ever been. And are only going to keep getting stronger. So,
until they get fucking droned, then we're all fucked.
Yeah, you see that balloon constantly inflate. Though, as much as they say that they're like furry vampires, where, yeah, you are because you're copying what the Venture do with the corporate wolves, they do it very well. And it's because they have easy money as their totem, where, behold, the money will just fall into your lap if you have that as your totem.
It's funny as shit.
Like inflation aside, you still get paid.
The almighty dollar.
Yeah, so you look at the glassworker, you say, you're an asshole. You still want to hang out with me? Yeah, I still want to hang out with you.
Basically. Okay. The Red Talons. They are straight up just animals. They kill everything that's on two legs. They are very instinctual. They only want two things from the Corax. They want to know where the enemy is and how many of them there are. Aside from that, they don't really care. But they will occasionally be nice to you and say, hey, I killed something back there if you want to eat it. They don't care much for small talk. Don't ever make a dog joke around a Talon, or you'll be reduced to a thin red paste.
It's that you've got a one-track mind, you think of murdering people all the time. This is the only thing you ask the Corax for anymore. It used to be your hunting buddy, but now you want to make them your murder buddy, like the Wendigo.
Basically, yeah. You're just like, hey, guys, can you fucking chill?
It's like it seems that the only Red Talons they're talking to are Predator Kings, for the Lodge of the Predator Kings. The guys who say, every day is Impergium Day.
Basically is what they're doing.
Every day's a weekend.
Yes. Shadow Lords. The Shadow Lords think they're sneaky, but the Corax are better at it. And they do all a bunch of politicking and impressive speeches, and when nobody else is listening, they got some shit going down. They've seen the files. They're trying eugenic experiments on bone gnars. Let me reiterate. The Shadow Lords are trying to genetically engineer bone gnars.
We will create the super hobo. And he will eat all the
show you the
garbage and not
picture.
get sick.
It's on the next page, but I will repost the picture in history pages so everybody can take a look at that. Look at that shit. Some Frankenstein's monster-ass experiments on a Garrow.
And this hobo will be able to eat the bugs and not get sick from eating the bugs. And he will gain the bug powers. He will have the cockroach rings and carapace.
Yes. Wow, I hate the Shadow Lords even more now. Wow, I hate the Shadow Lords.
It worked out with the glassworkers. It could work out with this.
I don't know if the cyber dogs are any better, my guy.
Yeah, you got but they can upload their souls into another body, so it's fine.
What's fucked about it is that, as we said, the Shadow Lords have been friends with the Corax since time immemorial. The Shadow Lords love the fact that the Corax will always give them information. They ask good questions. They know when to back off. They're always welcome in Shadow Lord boots, and they're always polite to them. But they really don't know how far they can take that without finally telling the Shadow Lords, guys, chill the fuck out. Don't do this. Because of how fucking long that friendship's been going on. And the last part of this is very ominous. It's been more than 1,000 years since a tribe fell to the worm. These guys could be next.
That's exactly what I've been saying with these videos, is that the Shadow Lords were always set up to fall to the worm, but then that plot point got dropped in 2nd edition.
Yeah, they have all of the evil potential to just get fucked over by one rogue infestation.
They don't even change their name when they fall in Apocalypse.
Yeah, it's terrifying to think about, especially with how much land, how much territory they have. They have all of Russia.
Oh yeah, like given our 3.5 project where they take over every bit of land that the Surfangs used to have. It's even worse than that story.
The silence.
You're saying something?
What's up?
No, sorry, I coughed. I was listening intently.
I scoff at your attempts to genetically modify me.
Grim is already the perfect specimen.
I am the alpha male.
It's true.
The Silent Striders. They are a great vacation. If you know, you want to take a break and you just want to go see cool shit, find a Silent Strider and just go wherever they go. And you'll find all kinds of cool shit. But just make sure that they don't know you're there, because then they'll just start, acting like you're a tourist. They also carry ghosts like fleas, and ghosts know exactly where you are. If the Strider decides to go into the Umbra, just fucking run. It gets fucked up. Just go. You don't want to be there.
Once again, try everything except for going in the underworld.
Yes, that shit's scary.
It's just a ghost. It's just a ghost. You eat dead things all the time. You know what to expect.
Yeah, but sometimes ghosts can be scary. And Silent Striders are occasionally scary. Sometimes
ghosts turn into demons.
Yes, you don't want that. Okay. Silver Fangs. So I love how, again, I keep gushing about it. That's only because I love this book. I'm going to read this verbatim. There is nothing more frightening than watching a Garrow foam at the mouth. Cujo's bad enough as a St. Bernard. Make him 9 feet tall and practically unkillable, and that's what you're left with. And all you're left with is a bad thing. So Silver Fangs just go fucking nuts randomly, and it's scary as shit. But on the rare occasion in which a Silver Fang overcomes their inbred madness, they are incredibly smart, they are cunning, they're tough, they keep everybody else in line, and they can make a battle line like nothing else. But it's really sad. The Fangs could be really fucking good, but their time has come, their time is gone, and they're going to limp on, and the Garrow limp on with them. It's tragic.
I began to have my brain rot from reading the Horus Heresy books. Their description here is reminding me of Corvus Corax talking to Conrad Kurz, where they're two very intelligent men, but the thing is, Conrad Kurz grew up on a planet by himself with no parental figure, where he became the Punisher and started killing criminals as his calling, as his destiny. And he sees nothing but the bad future. He's been driven insane with all the murder and bloodshed that he's seen. And you're trying to have a conversation with this guy, and you can tell what the hero he's supposed to be. You can tell he's supposed to be a good guy, but the life he's lived and who he is by nature makes it impossible to carry a conversation with him. That's the same energy with talking to the Silver Fangs as a Corax.
Yes, it is. It is tragic.
At any moment, this guy's gonna pull out the Wolverine claws and go and try to stab me in the neck.
Yes. Moving on from that, we have the Stargazers. They're almost as rare as the Corax are. All they do is they think about actions and repercussions. They don't do a whole lot of fighting. It's honestly kind of refreshing to talk to them, but they are rare. The Corax are in charge of the Garrow's informal census, and they clocked in at just under 600 people left. That is both in the physical world and in the Umbra. But on the rare occasion that a Stargazer does get caught in a fight, they're still caught up in their own head, so they're kind of useless in a fight.
Sounds like a certain Vienna I know.
I was about to shut the fuck up.
I'm sorry. I had I have a huge cough. I'm sorry,
Got
guys.
shafted.
I got nothing to add on that.
Fucking get. All right,
That's
Octana.
not very nice.
You're not very nice, it am to heart. All right, Octana. They talk to the Octana pretty frequently, but they prefer the native-bred Corax to any European ones. Corvids typically don't give a shit. The Octana kind of like the fact that the Corax are all about finding out secrets. They're not really interested in any of the mundane stuff that the Corax find out, but anything magical, they'll be right there. They occasionally cooperate very well if they're onto something good and need some extra muscle. They do a lot of info trade back in the Pacific Northwest. Although when they're not explicitly friendly, it's just a mutual respect with each other. But the Octana are somehow even bigger tricksters than the Corax are. Like, the Octana think it's their job to try and out-Raven the Ravens. Typically, it's the younger Octana who do that, but the older and higher rank ones realize that, yeah, the Corax do this for a reason. But, you know, they understand that once the kids grow up, they'll get what's going on.
So the Octana, they want to be the big intellectual, and what's a better intellect to challenge than the Corax?
Yes, the actual intellectuals.
Yeah, it's like all the different people that want to go up and like every time you see like Ben Shapiro talking at an event and you have a guy take the microphone and try to disprove them only to get their shit pushed in.
Yeah, it's like for all the jokes and memery about, you know, Ben and his various political views, he is actually a smart individual. I don't agree with everything he says, not by a country mile, but he's still smart.
He's smart when he wants to be.
Yes. When he's not being a fucking meme.
Yeah, compare that to Steven Crowder.
No, fuck Crowder. That dude's a prick. Fuck him.
You don't do wifey things, she'll do that either.
Bro, fuck Steven Crowder. He's a fucking prick. Jesus.
Wendigo, dude.
Yes.
Wendigo.
The Wendigo. Sunday. The Wendigo and the Get-A-Fevers in a steel cage grudge match. Werewolf Lucha. No holds barred. Basically, all they have to say about the Wendigo is, it's history, get the fuck over yourself. And you have a death wish for not joining the Croatan. That's it.
Yeah, it seems like that's the only thing people talk about with the Wendigo. It's because the Wendigo got shafted and their books weren't released until 2000, 2001.
Yeah, basically. And it is a damn shame, but pretty much everybody is like, get the fuck over yourself.
Granted, I do see the Wendigo as good hunting buddies because the Wendigo love living off the land. They love living off the grid. Having a Corax around, that would be fantastic. If that Corax is the same color and heritage as the Wendigo, even better.
I mean, for the most part, like, if I recall, the Wendigo don't really, like, have a whole lot of patience for the Corax. Like, they know they're occasionally useful, but, like, you know, they think that the Corax talk far too much to be useful.
It's like Shrek traveling with Donkey. It's that, cool, you're around me, I just wish you would stop talking.
Basically, yes. And surprisingly enough, the Corax have more to say on the other Fera breeds than any other book we've written so far. I can kind of quick fire through them if you like.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, other Fera. The Ajaba, forget about them. They're here for some reason, we don't know why. And the Bastet hate the shit out of them. The Ananasi, they drink blood, the femme fatale of the Fera. They've sort of been sold out to the enemy in some metaphysical hostage situation. They're trying to be good, but they're a bit too close to the worm and the weaver. The Bastet, they are the eyes of Gaia, not the brains. They have no perspective and no humility, and they insist on forcing their explanations on everything. You hire scouts to report, not interpret, and they have a superiority complex. Also, the Silesian aren't dead. Or the Silicon aren't dead.
Yeah.
Pretty fucking major, if you ask me.
I mean, these guys know they're still alive.
Yes, this is another reason I like the Corax. They're the metagamers of the World of Darkness because they know fucking everything.
Yeah,
Absolutely, they do.
Yeah.
It's like the family going, "Oh, the poor Bastet, they're dead," and the Corax are just look at them like they're stupid and they say, "No, they're not. We talked to them yesterday. They're still alive."
Yep. Same thing with the girl. A lot of people think that the War of Rage had killed all the girl, but they're just kind of sitting there sleeping. They wake up every 9 years or so, if only to hit the snooze button again. But they're a lot of fun to have around when they're awake, and they seem to be one of the few Fera reads that have their shit together. The Kitsune. Kitsune. Ding, ding, da, da, ding, ding, da. Foxy. Ding, 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 da. The Tengu know a little bit more about the Kitsune than just your average Corax. But what they do know is that they are very mischievous little things. They're sneaky little bastards, and just don't fucking trust them. The Makole. They're hard to find, still bitter about the War of Rage, because they got absolutely shellacked. They have the memory of Gaia, but are rarely sociable enough to talk about it to anybody. The Naga. They have some style, but they also really don't like the Corvids. They're almost as devious and sneakier still than the Corax. They might all be dead, but they're too sneaky to all get killed. They're probably just hiding at the bottom of a river. But if you find one, find out what they know, and you're in the money.
It might have something to do with snakes being a natural predator of the raven.
Yes. The Nuisha. Ravens and coyotes are like peanut butter and jelly. The Nuisha are incredibly rambunctious. They teach all the fun lessons. They teach with practical jokes. They're just funny little fellas. The Ratkin. They're into secrets and dark places. They're not as clever as they think. Reading this now after what's been going on in our game, I feel like you've read this book before. I'm going to quote this from the book. Mark my words, one day they're going to boil up onto the streets and give the Garrow a nasty surprise. They have it out for the Garrow. They fucking have it out for them. The Rokea. What's up?
They smashed their dreams in the world of in the War of Rage. Of course they would.
Yes. The Rokea. They get away with stuff because the Corax can't breathe underwater, and naturally that drives the Corax fucking crazy. Sharks, however, are reflexively dangerous, but if you can get one to sit down and talk with you, they have fucking awesome stories.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, we'd love to talk to you more, okay? We just wish you would go on land more often.
No, water's cool. Also, a little note about the miscellaneous critters section is that a lot of people have advised against mixing splats in the past, which we have flagrantly ignored because it frankly makes a better story. But even the Corax will tell you, nothing in the World of Darkness operates in a vacuum. Give this scenario. For example, a vampire kills some poor schmo on the street. No big deal, right? Wrong. The blood bag kicks it and becomes a wraith. And 6 weeks later, he climbs back into his body to go wreck the vampire's neighborhood. While doing so, he stomps through some Black Fury's macrobiotic herb garden, and she goes on the warpath, which pisses off her usual fey clientele, and, well, you get the idea. So, mixing splats is sanctioned by the Corax because, no, the World of Darkness does not happen in a vacuum.
Hey, go ahead.
So, the vampires. Being best buddies with the sun doesn't really endear them to vampires. It's worse than the Bastet thinking their plans they're worse than the Bastet at thinking their plans are the only ones that matter. Usually their plans are really long, complicated, and convoluted, but that also makes them really easy to fuck up. If you come over like one little detail that you spread around, basically his 4,000-year-old plan is just fucked. And also, the sun is your friend. Remember that. Mages. They also have a superiority complex, and they're condescending at best and homicidal at worst. They're always trying to off one another, stay at a safe distance, and talk every ounce of shit that you can to them.
They should know because they've seen what the Verbena do to people firsthand.
Yes.
You just ripped out that guy's organ, squeezed the blood into your mouth, and then you cast a spell because of that.
Yeah, that's
I always talk shit.
Yes.
You gonna want to approach that?
Now a little bit. Wraiths. Your odds of finding Casper the Friendly Ghost are pretty damn low. All of them are skitsy and freakishly possessive over random shit. The poor bastards are dead. Talk to one if you get the chance. The ghosts can see auras, they can walk through walls, they can sneak into computer banks, and they are desperate to talk to people. So learn what you can from them whenever you can.
Fun power that the Wraiths have in modern times is possessing computers. A Corax hack. Imagine how much fun it would be for a Wraith to hack his computer as he's doing a data breach into Pentex.
Oh, that'd be fucked.
Yeah, you jackass, you just ruined my cyber attack.
Yeah.
Now I gotta call the Glassworker IT to see about getting some anti-Wraith antivirus.
Basically, yes. Or you could try and hunt down the Wraith that hacked into your computer and go, hey, you're really good at this. Do you want us to help? Do you mind helping us go to this place called Tellus, getting into their system and fucking their shit up? And then we'll find you a Silent Strider.
In creating a fetter so you can chain yourself to the material plane for a little while longer.
Yes. Changelings. They kind of stand out, but most people don't take them seriously. But they're worth something. Report on them when you can. What?
Don't take them seriously, huh? Just ignore what gimmicks can do to a Corax.
Well, no, most
gimmicks,
don't take them seriously, but they're worth something. So just report on them when you see them.
Yeah, they would know that because gimmicks can fuck them up at level 1.
Yes.
Yeah, behold, the levitation. You can just grab the bird out of the sky and then throw it off in the distance like the gravity gun.
Basically, somebody with gimmick can just levitate it back down, do well, what if I hold you like an ice cream cone? I'm probably going to squirm around a little, but not much.
Yeah, the whole physics gun from Gmod.
Yep, basically.
It's like
neat little note. This is the first time mummies have really been brought up in this book.
Mm-hmm.
Mummies, they are very hard to spot. They're not covered in bandages and shit. But when they do show up, it means something big's going to go down. Make friends with one if you can and learn everything you can. But if not, just stay close to them and keep an eye on them.
Now, one day we'll talk about Mummy. One day, but the day's not today.
Yep. Last thing about this are abominations.
Yeah.
So, this is what happens if a vampire turns a Corax. Some vampire jokes about embracing them because birds don't have teeth. And the whole image of our Avis trying to bite someone's neck was funny, but it's not fucking funny. If a vampire turns a Corax, they immediately lose their connection to Helios. They lose all of their gnosis. Getting embraced is a death sentence. If being a creature of the night doesn't really work for the Corax, it basically, as soon as the sun comes up, you will burst into flames. It's a death sentence.
The sun doesn't even need to touch you. It just goes off.
Yes. So, if a vampire offers to make you immortal, run. Just run.
Chances are you won't even wake up before the embrace finishes. The sun will rise and then you'll just disintegrate.
Yeah.
Typically, the embrace will take a week to complete.
Thank Helios.
Basically.
Yeah, your little patch with him prevented you from being used as a tool for the hands of the Camarilla, Sabbat, Anarchs, and what have you.
Yes. Where did I put
Because I know Sobek of the Macaulay got turned by the Ministry, the Setites. And I think he's dead, but if he's still alive, please find him and put him out of his misery.
Yes. All right, where are we at now?
Take a sip of that wine. Not very good, not very bad.
Yep.
All right, it's the most okay wine I've ever had in my life. Let's do gifts. Let's do gifts. Ryan, all right, Ryan, let's do gifts.
Gifts. Ah,
Let's do
yes,
gifts.
there are a shit ton.
Now, here's the thing. We have typically talked about auspices and breeds with having them having unique gifts. There are none of those with the Corax. It's just Corax gifts. That's because of their pact with Helios. It obliterated the chance of them getting breed-specific or auspice-specific gifts. I mean, the sun doesn't exactly have a phase now, does it?
No, but you get eclipses every so often.
Right, so let's see. Give me one of every level.
One of every level. Okay, let's see.
Pick your most favorite.
My most favorite.
Your most favoritist.
What is Open Seal?
It's the Ragabash gift that lets you unlock sealed doors instantly with a snap of your fingers.
Interesting. Oh, so it's knock.
Yeah. The D&D spell knock, pretty much.
Alright. Then I shall not do that one. I shall do Raven's Gleaning.
Let's do it.
Raven's Gleaning takes advantage of legendary Corax. Jesus Christ, I can't speak.
Carl, I think you might be having trouble finding this page. Let me DM you that link.
No, I don't have that page.
Predilectation. For bright, shiny objects. In essence, a value detector. This gift allows a Corax to look at a shiny object and discover whether or not it's worth picking up. Raven himself or a Raven spirit acting under orders from the big guy teaches this gift. So you spend a Gnosis point, and it requires a Perception Subterfuge roll, difficulty 5. A single success merely gives you a yes or no as to whether the item is worth snatching. Additional successes can give the Corax an idea of value, composition, craftsmanship, and so on.
Which is a pretty good thing to have, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah, especially if you're.
A lot of their very early gifts have a very practical reason. I mean, you look at the other one too, Voice of the Mimic, which just allows you to pretty much become a living tape recorder.
Yeah,
That's
that was
pretty
pretty good too.
Now let me describe to you. Ryan, you're sitting at your house and you say, I want to order a pizza. So you pull out your phone, and then you want to pay with your card over the phone, so you give out your card information to the Pizza Hut, or the Papa John's that you're ordering from. And then after you hang up, you hear your own voice from outside your window. Say your card number, your expiration date, and the 3 numbers on the back. You look out the window and there's a raven. And then it looks at you and then it flies away. Now, how worried are you after seeing that?
Personally, not really.
See, I feel like that'd be like dude. All this shit makes me just love the Corax more and more because like that's so useful. Like you go to the home of a Pentex exec working with a glass or like
it's still their credit card.
Yeah, and just flies to a glass walker, repeats the number, and bam, you've got billions of dollars.
And all he does is that he just goes to a Domino's pizza every Saturday and gets a large pizza for himself.
Yeah, like John Carmack.
And then nobody ever notices that he's stolen the credit card.
No.
They can try. I am a broke ass bitch.
Because you keep ordering Domino's pizza.
Off the Corax's card.
That's why you buy local pizza.
Right,
I do buy local pizza.
It's better.
But local pizza's never open when I want pizza. So I have to go to Domino's.
Then buy pizza earlier.
Buy it in advance and just let it sit in your fridge.
No, that's just sad. Don't do that.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So.
Level 2. Let's see.
Level
2. There's a very obvious one to take here.
Was it Razor Feathers?
That's it?
Yeah, that's the one I was going to choose. Razor Feathers. One of the Corax's few combat-related gifts. Razor Feather operates only when the Corax is in a Rara Avis form.
Which is that's our class form.
Oh.
Yeah.
Most predators are aware of the Corax think incorrectly. Most predators aware of the Corax think incorrectly that whale ravens are easy prey. If a Corax has been taught this gift, suddenly the odds creep a whole lot closer to even. The primary effect of razor feathers is to make sure the feathers along the edge of the wing are hard and sharp as steel. Sharp as steel. The hardened feathers are strong enough to parry knives or claws, and sharp enough to slice easily through unprotected flesh or even stronger materials. Razor feathers is taught by a steel spirit. To access this gift, the Corax needs to spend a gnosis,
Gnosis.
and roll a difficulty 6 stamina check. The number of successes indicates the number of turns that the effect holds. Feathers affected by the gift take on a metallic sheen, and some say they even glow softly with an eerie white light.
That's pretty fucking
Honestly,
sick.
it's great, but sharpened claws is better.
I mean, yes.
It is objectively, but you can use this as a ranged attack.
Yes, that's the benefit right there.
Yeah, you saw Jaden use this in our live play.
Yeah, I was wondering what I thought he just had hidden blades on him. No, now I know that's a gift.
Yeah, they can just do this, and all of his feathers are able to do this after he plucks them off for as many turns as he has Gnosis.
Yeah, I would have thought they would be able to like keep them on him and then use it as like a shield. That would be tight.
Yeah, you could use it for that. It depends on how creative you are with the power.
Yep.
All right, and you do have another one, cool one on here, Swallow's Return, where Swallow's Return will just instantly it's like kind of like it teleports you back to your last save point. Is pretty much what it does.
It's a cool one because it's not available to buzzards and worms.
Yeah, yeah. If you're a worm, Corax, you can't take that.
Yeah.
All right, level 3.
Level 3. Let's see here. That seems basic. We've already touched on range.
I notice all of these carry physical attributes to them.
We'll do Sun's Guard.
Let's do it.
Given to his children by Raven after the great misadventure with Helios, this gift serves to protect Corax from excessive heat. After all, the Ravens got away without being burned to a crisp on the outside the first time. Next time, the Corax might not be so lucky. To no one's surprise, an avatar of Raven teaches this gift. You spend 2 points of rage, and it demands a stamina and primal urge roll, difficulty 6. Each success is a turn during which the Corax is immune to flames, literally up to and including those of the surface of the sun. This includes regular flames, magical conjured fire, or even balefire.
There it is. Balefire. The ace in the sleeve of the Black Spiral Dancers can't kill them.
Worm-tainted Corax can learn this gift. Or, no, they can't, sorry. Buzzards and Worm cannot.
Yeah. So behold, that Raven keeps that power out of the hands of his corrupted kids.
Yeah.
Good shit, Raven.
Yes. So behold, if you want to do something extremely convoluted with your Fera and Mage game, and you want to have a Mage teleport an enemy to the sun, and then teleport them back, teleport the Corax back, you can have a Corax travel to the sun, shove the person into the sun after using that gift, and then teleport back to Earth. It's like a Dragon Ball Z way of killing somebody.
Yeah, it kind of is, yeah. It's like telefragging somebody.
Or you can do Burning Sphere with your mage and have him summon the sun, and then the Corax can just hold it in his hands and throw it at somebody.
Yep. Here, just hold on to this giant nuclear ball of hydrogen.
Now, I'm not sure if the radiation poisoning would ultimately kill them.
It might give them leukemia 30 years later.
You gonna have all your feathers fall out?
Yes. Call that boneless chicken.
Errant Sense. Okay, the Errant Sense, I'm just going to bring that up now because every single spirit in this game has that as a gift. You spend 1 Gnosis point to roll Perception and Occult, and the understanding of the ways of the Umbra is granted to you for a short time. You just gain situational awareness of the Umbra. That's what that does. And every single spirit in the game has that.
Cool.
All right. So can we get a different gift from you, Ryan?
Vultures? Oh, from level 3 or 4?
4.
4. Vultures Feast.
Delicious.
One of the great advantages of being a carrion eater is that your dinner plate is rarely empty. There's roadkill everywhere, just waiting for you to dig in. What happens, however, if you want something a little fresher? After all, who knows how long that hunk of ex-squirrel has been hanging out in the passing lane? Vulture's Feast allows a Corax to rot flesh with a touch, regardless of whether the target meal is dead or alive. Ooh, that's interesting. Obviously, this is not a gift to be used lightly, but there are times when the most peaceable Corax has no recourse but to turn someone's face into a mass of decaying separation.
Yes.
I think so. A vulture spirit teaches this gift.
Why does Vulture have so many good gifts in this game?
I don't know, but this is basically just an inflict wounds.
Yeah.
The system.
Yes. You expend a willpower point and 2 gnosis.
That's steep.
The Corax must make a that is really steep. Must make a successful dexterity and brawl roll, difficulty 5, in order to touch the victim. Then they must succeed on a contested stamina roll. If they win, the flesh he is currently touching becomes withered, dead, and rotted. The victim takes 1 level of health aggravated. That's wow. Really? Oh, for each success the Corax has left. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
I was like, 1 level of health, that's barely fucking anything. And then I just needed to keep reading.
Yes. Now, you can only use this in Hamid form, though.
Yeah, but even still, it's inflict wounds. You walk up, you grab somebody by the neck, you disintegrate their windpipe in your hand.
I'm now imagining a Corax using this on a mouthy Ventru, and then the minute the Ventru starts rotting, the Ventru's going, "No, you can't just eat me. I'm the Prince of Los Angeles."
Vulture's Feast, go pick.
Nom nom nom.
This is the most embarrassing way for a Ventru to die.
Yummy, eyeballs in my tummy.
You just get eaten by a giant bird.
Jesus Christ.
Okay. Now for the crazy ones. Level 5.
Level 5. There's some pretty good ones here.
Not all of them are good.
Not all of them?
All of them.
Yeah, I figured as much. Ooh. Let's do Theft of the Stars, because that sounds fucking amazing.
Yep.
In some Native American legends, Raven was responsible for placing the sun, moon, and stars into the sky. However, what Raven giveth, Raven can take away. I should have said taketh away, but whatever. Or at least borrow with the help of the Corax. This gift has truly terrifying effect, rendering the target completely unable to see any light derived from a natural source, i.e. the sun, the moon, the stars. Victims of this power are deduced to stumbling around in a bizarre twilight, if not absolute darkness. Helios Avatar teaches this gift, but only to Corax, whom the sun trusts in its use. That's amazing, because fire is a natural source of light as well.
Get a pair of Pec 2 NVGs on you. You might be okay.
And it's fairly cheap. It's a willpower and a point of rage to activate.
Yeah, that is cheap.
There you go.
As is a contested willpower roll with the victim. If the Corax wins the roll, their victim is immediately plunged into darkness, as no Natural light registers with the eyes. Their eyes. Artificial light lamp. Oh, how is fire
It says fire,
artificial?
but I'm not quite sure about that.
Lamps,
I think I
fire,
would
etc.
agree. I think I would agree more with your reasoning on that.
Registers just fine, but who's got their lights on in the middle of the day? The effects of theft of stars last a single hour, but that's usually more than enough.
That's fucking
And there you
tight.
have it.
You
There
literally
have
just
it.
blind somebody. It's like, fuck you. Takes your eyes. Twice.
Committing your crimes in broad daylight.
And then you take the eyes of the victim and it's just black.
You also have portents, where you were asking me about the site. That's a site. So, player spends 2 points of Gnosis and rolls Intelligence and Enigma, and it's difficulty 8. And then you can nominate an area of interest, or it could just be a general event. If you succeed, you see the future. So those 3 Morgan ladies, that's what they have.
Damn.
Yeah, you can just pop on the fly.
It's pretty
read
fucking
the future?
wild.
Good luck reading the stars. Ha!
Or Magadon CEO, just fuck them up.
Right. And we only have 2 totems to talk about today.
Yes, totem
2
time.
totems.
And we've talked about this guy. Was this the 4th time we're bringing him up?
I think.
All right, Raven. All right. Background cost 5. Individually, you will get a point of wisdom. As a pack, you will gain 3 dots in survival, and 1 in subterfuge, 1 in enigmas, and the Corax in general will like you if you're not a Corax who takes this totem. The ban: you must never carry any wealth. You must trust the Raven to provide for you. As we have seen, the Raven is pretty good at that.
So it'll just like drop food or drop money in your hand.
Drop the credit card into your hand.
Oh, cool.
It's going to give you one of those like Visa or like a green
Visa
dot card.
gift cards. I like to imagine that Tyler just has like a cabinet that's just full of stolen Visa gift cards. And he has no idea how much money is on each one. It's just, oh, I've got all of them. I should clean this out at some point.
Tyler and Grim are sitting on the side of the road wondering, what are we going to eat today? And then Raven goes off and a truck full of ramen noodles crashes on the side of the road.
Ah, yes. Classic ramen.
They're better raw, Grim.
Huh.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Gaia be praised. And then goes over, grabs a bunch of them, walks back to the shed, and starts cooking.
I felt a crunch between your teeth. Next up, we have the Morgan.
I believe that's al dente ramen.
Yes. The Morgan. You have 3 Morgans you can pick from. Here we go. In general, you will receive 1 less difficulty to all social roles involving the Corax and Raven spirits. Background cost 8. We have Maka, personification of battle. Individually, you'll each get the Aurum gift Inspiration, as well as a point of temporary glory. As a pack, you will gain the Aurum gift Stoking Fury's Furnace, which can be used on any 1 pack member at a time. The downside, Babbed, wait, hold on a minute. They have a general ban. I'm sorry, I was reading the wrong thing. Babbed, the representation of fury. As an individual, you will gain the ability to go into frenzy at will. No rage roll needed. Furthermore, each member of the pack will gain a point of temporary glory, but lose 2 points of temporary wisdom. As a pack, you'll gain the level 3 Galliard group.
Galliard group?
Galliard gift. Right off the bat. Song of Rage. And then you have Nemain, who is the Venom. She is the toxic fear of the battlefield. Individually, each pack member will gain a point in Subterfuge, but will lose a point of temporary honor. But as a pack, you'll get the gift Fog of War. Now the ban. No child of the Morgan may ever harm a Raven. They must always show respect for and give aid to the Corax. They must never show fear even in the face of certain death, where I guess the only showing face in the showing fear in the face of certain death really only applies to the Corax. You don't have the other part of the ban if you are the Corax.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. And Behold, you also have these gifts are shared, these totems are shared between the Fianna, the Gafenris, the Shadow Lords, and the Red Talons. And the Actena in some circles.
That's quite useful, isn't it?
You got friends in them. Now let's talk about some rites. I got some rites for you guys.
Alright, right time.
Alright. Rites of the Sun's Bright Rays. If you want to find that thing on the City of Mush, highlight the word gifts in that URL and just swap it out with rites with the capital R.
Alright.
Did it work?
Yep.
Waiting for you to tell me that
We're
word.
good.
Rite of the Sun's Bright Ray. What this does is that it has no cost, as it is a symbol of Helios' special favor towards his adopted children. All that is required is the proper steps and chants of a rite, and then a Gnosis roll, difficulty 7. You will then summon a beam of light, which will fill a volume of a 20-foot wide cone that comes directly from the sky, and it will last for 1 hour for each successful roll in Gnosis. The glow remains behind even after the Corax leaves the area. This is perfect for killing a vampire that you have dragged out the remains of on the cloudy day. You may be thinking, oh, we're supposed to kill this vampire, but the sun's not out. Well, we can just perform the Sun's Bright Ray rite and then summon a beam of sunlight that will instantly vaporize the vampire.
I love the description of this where it says, you gotta just see the look on the face of Vlad Pretentious, Dark Prince of Mount Laurel, New Jersey, when you drop a 73 degrees and sunny grenade in his lap. That's fucking amazing.
All right. Next up, the rite of the fetish egg. You remember me telling you how the Corax reproduce? Because this is how. What you gotta do is you gotta tie a little Corax feather to the egg, and then the egg has gotta sit for 24 days, and then you get it. So you do need to spend 3 points of permanent gnosis from the parents, which is pretty steep.
Yes. But you need to make a new Corax.
Exactly. And if you're using your experience table right, you can just keep making Corax, and then behold, you will eventually beat the Ratkin in terms of production.
Cool.
Yeah. And this can only be performed in the Umbra. This won't work in the material plane. And it requires a witness from a breed opposite of the Corax. So you need to call a Garou or a Bastet or a girl to watch you do this for it to work.
Why do you need a fucking witness? Get a room.
To make... Yeah, you don't want to cheat.
And lose some weight.
You gotta make sure you're not cheating.
Horny fucks.
I mean, a child guy would be delighted to do that. He's just like sitting in the lawn chair with his legs crossed, hands stuffed between his femurs.
God damn it.
It's not my fault they're perverts.
Look, I thought I was a slut. Good lord.
Alright. Let's do something crazy. The rite of memory theft.
Okay.
If a fellow Corax has repeatedly acted dumber than a box of rocks, there comes a time where you've just got to scrub out the inside of their head and hope that the next pile of garbage he accumulates between his ears is more useful. If someone does something really, really, really dumb, a bunch of the old-timers can pull this right out of their mothballs and wipe his mental hard drive, downloading all the good bits first. Whoever leads the ritual gets the core dump from the target, object of the rite. Meanwhile, the victim has his head pretty much wiped of all of anything except for, pretty flowers. Actually, I'm exaggerating here a little bit. The rite takes the victim back to right after the first change, meaning that there's a chance that he'll learn things properly the second time. Basic motor skills, language abilities, things like that, they generally tend to stay in place even when the rite goes really, really well. By the way, this is a good thing that the rite's only available to the grand poobahs of this breed. Can you imagine the hell that would break loose if the murderer's daughters got a hold of it?
Yeah, you'd be corrupted in like 5 minutes.
The system. The rite requires a small, empty wooden box. Behold, it's a Japanese legend. Preferably painted with scenes of the target's life. At least 3 Corax, including the one performing the rite, must surround the target. The box is then opened, and the litany of the victim's deed is chanted. As each event is named, the memories of that moment will fly from the Corax's head into the box. Associated memories flee as well, until such time as the Corax's mind is emptied of everything post-first change. Note that this rite is an all-or-nothing proposition. One cannot use this rite to exact or exercise only specific memories. The Corax performing this rite must then seal and crush the box, at which point all of the memories contained enter his mind. This is not a burden to be undertaken lightly. The rite of memory theft is only performed when a Corax has done something truly horrendous, and no Corax carries around the memories of another breed's failure or crime lightly. It's one thing to know that another Raven's missteps for another thing entirely is to make up. I fucked up in that sense. It's one thing to know another Raven's missteps, another thing to make them your own. The rites it costs a point of gnosis, willpower, and rage, and lasts as long as it takes for the victim to sing all the misdeeds of the target. The rite also calls for a contested willpower roll between the Corax using the rite and the target, where though each additional Corax present lowers the rite master's difficulty by 1. This can only be used by the Corax.
On other Corax.
So, yeah, I fumbled that reading a little bit, but yeah, you get the idea. It resets you back to 0. It's like the rite of second birth from the Wendigo.
That's pretty fucking wild, though. I mean, it's still better than, like, say, what was the Wendigo's rite where they literally sacrifice you to a demon?
The Tupilok?
Yeah, the Tupilok.
Yeah.
I mean, this is still pretty fucked. It's like, imagine you met this one Corax, a little bit of a fuck up. You see him a couple of weeks later. It's like, have we met? You don't remember?
Nope.
That'd be a little disconcerting to a Garrow.
What happened to you? Somebody eat your brain? Have you been brain eaten?
No, I feel fine. Anyway, so I saw this one thing. Okay.
And now we've reached the end of the show where we get to talk about mixing splats.
Yes, which now the book will actively tell you to do. Let me bring up the package. Where the fuck did I put it? There we go. Yeah. It's on this page, and I will zoom into it. So everybody can see it, even though it looks kind of rough.
The scan didn't go through very well.
Nah, it's okay. But yeah, you can see it. No one operates in a vacuum. It's right there. Clear as crystal, black and white text.
And, well, what's the obvious thing? Well, it seems that just about every tribe likes the Corax. So, behold, you will have no issue implementing them into your werewolf game.
Yes. I've already given a couple examples of, like, just within the Corax itself of some things you can do. But also know that the Corax like fucking with vampires because they think that their plans are stupid and they have superiority complexes about them a mile fucking wide. So if you can get in on knowing some fucking snot-nosed Ventru or Toreador's plan, go in and fuck it up. Fuck it up as bad as you can.
The plot of Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. Oh, it turns out local Prince Sebastian Lacroix has a coffin, the Ankaran sarcophagus, that contains a torpor Methuselah vampire that he plans to diabolize. Let's tell everybody about this, and then see what happens.
Yeah, do that.
And behold, you just pretend to be a shovelhead to the Sabbat, tell the Sabbat about it, be a groupie to the Anarchs, tell them about it, and then just watch the chaos.
Yep. And sit on the roof, watch the city light on fire, and have a cigarette to celebrate.
Next up, your mages.
Also, fuck up their plans as much as you can.
Exactly. The traditions. Going down the line, I can see them having peace with the Akashic Brotherhood because Japan. The Kinku. Why did I call them the Kinku? The Corax. I got D&D in my brain. That's why I called them that.
Yep.
love Japan. They love hanging out in Japan. And
With the
guess
Tengu.
who's in Japan? Yep, the Akashic Brotherhood. So behold, their paths are going to eventually cross, and I can see our Corax learning the whole Venusian karate from the Akashic Brotherhood.
Yes.
Who's next? Celestial Chorus? Maybe. They're pretty devoted to Gaia. I don't see them
Getting along
putting
with
Gaia
him,
and
no.
God on the same pedestal. The Cult of Ecstasy.
It might work.
Yeah, because they do believe in trying everything.
Yeah. So it's like, hey, you want to try some fucking LSD with me? All right, bet.
Yeah. Behold, I'm now flying through an entire tunnel of hands.
Put on some Hendrix and let's go on a fucking journey.
The Euthanatos. Not really.
No.
I mean, it'll be interesting to see them work, but I don't see the two working together, considering how prickly the Euthanatos are. Dream Speakers. Yes, I can definitely see them working with Dream Speakers.
The Dream Speakers seem to be chill.
Behold, you are the flesh and blood of Grandfather Raven. Talk to the Dream Speakers.
Yes. You will have no trouble getting cool intel.
The Hermetics, no.
No, fuck the Hermetics, they're pricks.
Absolutely not with the Hermetics. The Verbena, no.
No.
Sons of Ether, yes.
Really?
Behold, you have made the Wonder Waffle. I saw this gun in Call of Duty, and now it's real. Can I shoot it?
Oh yeah, the Corax do like guns.
Yeah, they like guns, they like new technology, and the Sons of Ether are mad scientists. They would eat that stuff up. They would also fly over and say, Sons of Ether, I volunteer for you to study me. Pay me lots of money, and you may observe my body.
Oh, how interesting. Hold still. I would like to dig this scalpel into your forehead.
He'll regenerate. He'll be fine.
That's not a gold scalpel, is it? No, it's silver. I've tested lots of Garrow recently. They're quite fascinating specimens.
Oh, that won't kill me. Oh, no, it won't do anything to me.
Yes, anyway, so I would like to see the shape of your brainstem.
Oh, but Hardy is a bird brain after all.
Basically, yes. That's a fucking dumb way to die. You could like go to a fucking we said Euthanatos, right? Or no, not Euthanatos.
Sons of Ether.
It was Sons of Ether built the guns. It was the Hermetics you were talking about.
Yeah, the Hermetics are the guys you don't want to trust, and same with the Verbena.
I let the bit go on too long. I forgot who we were talking about.
We're talking about the Sons of Ether.
Yes.
And the virtual adepts. Yes.
They would be good friendies.
Behold, I would like to sideway step into the cyberspace, please. And then fly through the internet.
Yes. I keep thinking of like the dream team for fucking up Talus.
one virtual adept, one Glasswalker, one Corax.
And one Wraith for good measure.
Maybe a Nosferatu.
Yeah.
And that's the ultimate spot mix right there.
That'd be kind of fucked, but I think it'd be really, really funny.
The technocracy is way too close to the Weaver. They would love to get their hands on their stuff for free and play with it, but they would never willingly work with the technocrat.
No. Technocrats are also pricks.
The Nafandi. No, technocrat.
Okay.
We finally get to know our own spook.
Oh, dear Lord. He was spying on us the whole time. We never knew.
He's a double agent. It's not a real wolf at all. He's a progenitor lab wolf.
He has gnosis, though.
Then Nafandi.
No.
Not happening.
No, not in a million fucking years.
And the Marauders. I'm sure they would love to stay far, far away from the Marauders.
Yes.
Next up, Changelings. See,
yes.
Well, guess the obvious one.
What was the name of the ones that really like telling stories? I forgot.
Ishu.
Yeah, the Ishu.
Yeah, that works. The issue, of course, are the North African, Middle Eastern, and they can be other races, but that's typically where they show up. Fairies that go around, travel around the world, as you do with Arabic culture, and just see the world and learn about the world.
Yes. I
But where my
kind of
mind,
would like to play an Ishu. It seems like I would be a good fit for that.
where my brain was going with that was the Slua.
Why the Slua?
They like dark and dim places. Perfect little spot for the Corax. You run into a Slua who becomes obsessed with you because they love anything and all things Tim Burton. And behold, you have the walking Tim Burton character Crow right there. So they're definitely going to take an interest into that Corax when they see that.
Yeah, it sounds about right. Can't wait to get
Uh,
Jaden and Grimscythe together.
see. Next up,
But,
Not you,
um,
Grimscythe, the bassist.
yeah, I know. From the Fairy band.
Yeah, Freddy's
yeah,
band.
the guy who looked like Marilyn Manson.
Yep.
Another one that'll be good would be the Cluricon, also known as the Leprechaun.
Oh yes, we'd have a great time together.
I mean, they love singing, they love dancing. That'll be a perfect person to hang out with.
Yes.
Next up, the Ghosts.
We've been over this multiple times. The ghosts know shit that nobody else knows, so talk to them a lot.
They would specifically cling to the Iron Legion, the guys who have died of old age and know all the things, but haven't come to peace with their death.
Yes, so talk to the people that know all the things, and you will know all the things.
And a good source of help would be the Penitent Legion, the people who died of mental illness.
I feel like that wouldn't be good help at all.
It's because the Penitent Legion want to make up for the stuff they did in life for being crazy. So now that they're dead, they finally have lucid thoughts after years and years of insanity, and would love to make up for their misdeeds that they did in life, if they did any at all.
It's like that one Robin Williams film. I think it was called The Awakening or something.
Yeah, where you're finally thinking clearly for the first time. This Corax would love to record my story. Maybe if somebody knows about this and it helps me with some therapy, maybe I can move on.
Basically, yes.
Demons.
I got nothing.
See, well, absolutely not with Luciferians. Absolutely not. The Corax hate control freaks. That would not work with them.
No.
Same with the Ravengers. They would want nothing to do with the Ravengers. The Cryptics. Absolutely, a Corax would love to get involved with that.
Really?
I mean, imagine that. That is a fallen angel, one of the oldest beings in existence. Imagine all the things it knows.
That's okay. That's a good point.
Yeah, you're going to want to learn everything you can from that cryptic. Same thing with a Faustian, but that's going to bite you in the ass.
Yep. It's like, hey, I'll tell you some shit if you do something for me.
If you bend down and you suck my dick every day for the rest of your life.
The genie when I tell him my third wish is to suck my dick again.
And then the reconcilers, they would have some good information, but they typically aren't as knowledgeable as the cryptics. So you're going to want to seek out a cryptic first and foremost with Demon to Fallen. Hunters. Well, we've got a trickster changing breed. What better way to mess with hunters than to trick them into hunting your enemies?
I mean, yeah, basically you raise your gun. Wait. I know you don't like me, and I probably don't like you. But there's a big fuck-off vampire over there, and I don't like him either. What if I told you how to go kill him? Alright, I'm on board.
You also pretend to be a vampire because most of these guys tend to look like Conrad Kurz in Hamid form. So that's the general look of your average everyday La Sombra. So behold, just frame the local Sabbat for a crime that you did and then get the attention of the hunters and have them handle that vampire for you.
Yeah. I do need to write
There-
that. I do need to finish that Jeremy King story. I think that would be fun to write.
see, and I feel like I'm missing one.
We did vampires. We did
We
mages.
we talked a little bit about Mummy, but we're not going to go too in depth about that.
I mean, we didn't
You know,
say anything specifically with Garrow, but it's kind of self-explanatory.
Yeah, but I mean, they're so deeply involved with the Guru Nation. It
Yes.
writes itself.
Yeah,
Midnight Circus, let's bring that one up.
I know nothing about that.
So I haven't told you that much about Midnight Circus, have I?
No,
That was an attempt to mix all the splats into one giant circus environment.
that's basically what we do with our games.
No, it's in like this is a explicit carnival setting.
Oh, okay. No, that's kind of fucking wild.
It's meant to be played something like a one shot or a game that's going to last about a month. But I can definitely see the Corax checking that circus out if you want to put it in your world, just to figure out how is this supposed to function. How do you get new carnies? What does the remaster look like? How does this function? The Corax would be all into that and would definitely love to see a show.
That'd be a good way to have like a fish out of water protagonist experience. That's kind of how I went about playing Vampire the first time, because I had no idea how to play Vampire when we got started. So I explicitly played a fish out of water protagonist until I knew more about it.
You have pretty much your like Corax version of Pomni, where you go into the circus for the first time, and behold, you're the newest cast member.
Yep.
And behold, you
Ladies and
get
gentlemen.
to do the whole digital electric circus.
Man, fuck that show. I watched it once and I was like, dude, I'm having a fucking fever dream. This is just such a bad acid trip.
I do feel like we are getting, like, as a culture, just a little bit too obsessed with misery.
Yeah,
With-
the cultural nihilism is set in a bit too hard.
Like, dog, can I please watch something happy for once?
I mean, the story that I've currently been working on isn't exactly happy, but like it's a cyberpunk film noir with, with treasure hunter adventure elements to it. It's going to be fun at the very least.
I mean, this is why I like stuff like Klonoa. It's because it's got some darkness to it, but at the same time, there's like a bittersweet happiness to it.
Yes.
So, like, why can't we have adult animation like that?
Oh, we do. It's called Smiling Friends.
Yeah, please let that second season come out already.
Yes.
That show takes a hay penny to produce. You can make episodes ad nauseum forever.
Yeah, it's so much fun. I need to like sit down and just watch it front to back, but I have nothing to watch it on. I think it's on Paramount Plus.
I think I need to start watching Doctor Who again too.
How that show's been going on since the Germans been bombing London.
I mean, they brought back David Tennant as the 14th Doctor.
That means nothing to me.
I mean, that nobody can play that character better than David Tennant, so he's back playing it again.
I suppose that's fair. But yeah, that is the Corax, the consummate loose lips, the friends of everybody. God bless those feathery bastards. We love them.
Grim, do we have any thoughts?
Nope.
No?
My brain's dead at this point.
Typical
Nope.
Arun.
Nope. Just thinking about those delicious birds and how greasy that meat's going to be when you eat them.
I will say though, I went to a friend's potluck dinner and I made a fucking kick-ass buffalo chicken dip.
Not all the buffalo sauce in the world won't make the Corax taste any better.
No. Carrion eaters, I don't imagine will taste good unless they're pigs.
The expression "eat crow" exists for a reason.
Yes. I think that was actually brought up in John Wick, not about crows, but about pigeons, where I think it was, who was it that played the homeless guy in John Wick? I think it was in John Wick 3. Fuck. I'm forgetting his goddamn name.
It was John Prick.
No, he played Morpheus. What was his name?
Lawrence Fishburne.
Lawrence Fishburne. Yeah, because he was playing like the king of all the homeless people in New York, and he used carrier pigeons to communicate. And like the bald-headed chick who was being shitty to everybody, walked up to him. It's like, well, can they give you the plague? I wouldn't recommend eating one. Anyway, yeah, so play the Corax. They're fun. I like them.
You probably could do an all Corax campaign, and
I'd be 100% down for that.
I would even say if one of you approached me and said you wanted to be a Corax in our next Werewolf game, I would allow it.
I'm still going to go with Silent Strider, but now that that's on the table, I might consider it.
We have so many Werewolf games to play.
Yeah, we do. I'm going to be honest. I've been playing a lot of 5e. Well, my IRL games have been taking a break for the holiday season, but like, there's nothing like World of Darkness. There's nothing like Werewolf the Apocalypse, and I want more.
I'm going back and I'm playing Dungeon of Mad Mage on Wednesdays, and I'm trying to ask for checks that don't exist.
Yes.
And I'm looking at the character sheet, and I'm thinking, 5e, why are there just few skills?
Because they wanted to make it easy. Like, Werewolf and Vampire are by no means easy games, but once you know, it is miles of fun.
We have so many Warhammer and World of Darkness games to play.
Yes. This is why we're doing this in the first place. It's because there's so much more we can do here.
And I am expecting to get a DMCA from Games Workshop any day now.
Oh, fuck them. I don't care. Bitch, we ain't get paid for this. Fuck out of here.
Yeah, Paradox Interactive doesn't enforce copyright at all. Games Workshop does.
Yeah, so... Yeah, we love the Corax. So, it's 11 o'clock.
All right, get out of here. Quit watching this.
All right, good night, everybody.
Have a good night, everyone.